Is that Joe? Is that the Mr. Josephs? Joe, not
I'm the
Joseph.
I'm the king of the
The king of the
world.
world.
How come you guys don't have the same names in this channel versus your game names?
Well,
Pissing me off right now.
this is an official none of our business Discord group chat.
Echo
So
Maresca? The fuck is that?
yeah,
That's a
Joe,
Nebraska.
explain that real quick.
Yeah.
Do you want me to? No, I think we should save this for the pod.
Oh
Oh,
my god. Dude,
oh,
we've been going off the whole time.
we did for about an hour
We've
and a
been talking for
half.
an hour and a half.
Because a certain someone said they wanted to do it at 3 and then reschedule to fucking 4 o'clock.
You realize I've not slept right yet. I'm going off in no sleep. I've been up since midnight of last night
Oh my god.
waiting
Oh,
for you
true.
guys.
The dedication of our guests and the fans that listen. But Joe, you're kind of muffled. Are you on Discord on your phone?
I am.
Oh, okay. I thought you brought your laptop with you.
I did, but it's not gonna sound as good.
Okay, because you do sound kind of deep and sexy. I like it.
I sound good, or what I
Yeah,
sound
yeah, you sound good. You sound real good. And I can hear Akshay really clearly, right, Akshay?
Perfect.
You can hear me?
Right? Because you cannot hear me in video games.
Yeah. I
I
can
can hear both of you quite clearly.
Oh,
quite
good.
clearly. Nice.
Mhm.
But we can do our little vocal warm ups real quick right now. So yeah, we can.
I can't go that high, man. Like falsetto is it's tough. It's
Yeah.
tough. The only time if there's like a puppy that comes by, I'm like, oh look at you. And I cannot do I cannot sing in that voice.
I
Like,
do that.
The things
My-
you can do, Joe, is incredible to me.
I say the same thing when I see a vagina. Look at you.
Look at you. Come here.
Ah,
You're so cute.
Oh yeah.
that was good. That was good. I like
You're
that.
cute. No, you're cute.
Joe, welcome to my podcast.
I say you're right.
Yeah, but oh yeah, the one last thing I forgot to tell Akshay was that at the end of the show we do something like a soapbox. Joe will explain it all. He'll do all his own thing, but
He knows the soap.
he knows. Yeah, he knows it, and I'm glad you're on.
Sometimes.
I'm totally glad you're here, Akshay, because uh, the audience will now get to know another side of me back in college from someone who not only lived in the same household but was literally in the same bedroom. We shared a bedroom, so
Yes.
that's gonna be fucking dope to hear all the crazy stories you're gonna tell, and then give Joe like an insight because we all play fucking Call of Duty together. This is the Gulag Boy episode again.
Oh yeah. And
Yeah.
I've got, and I've already gone over like a question that I want to bring to the
Yes.
table with Keenan.
Yes, he does.
And Keenan wants me to surprise you with that question because I think your input from a humble place would be a great segue.
Yes.
What do you think, Keenan?
Yes, I think it'll be
Love
great.
it.
So, Joe, I already pressed record about 15 minutes ago. So,
My God.
Wait, what?
no, I pressed
You mean
record.
I'm coming in like
No,
I'm coming in an eighth into the?
no. But me, Akshay, and I did speak about a lot of stuff. But no, it was good that it was off record. No, you've been on for about 3 minutes now. Ever since you joined on Discord, I started recording. Yeah,
That's phenomenal.
yeah.
Well, then should I get it started? Welcome all to episode 95 of the None of Our Business podcast. We are your hosts, Keenan, CNN Dunkaroos, C-Section, C-Notice, C3PO, C4, seeing your way out of here. We have Keenan Duncan. Today we have a very special guest, and I'm gonna. Okay.
Oh well, you don't know. I mean,
the master,
the
the
master-
master race.
the master race, the master of
the
the blaster,
master-
the mass blaster.
The master of the blaster, the man with the loadout, the man with
the call ins, the call
the
shots.
god of the god of dogs of dog sitting.
The master.
Rugged.
What's your master chief? Like you have so many medals in Call of Duty. What's the highest? Admiral. You're practically president.
Practically.
Uh,
I wouldn't have gone there without you
Akshay,
guys.
you know
That's
what?
for sure.
Akshay, I don't even know your last name, Akshay. To be
It's
honest.
Dhupelia.
Dupelia.
You got it.
Akshay,
Woo, woo,
Dupelia.
woo, 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 woo. Fwah, fwah, fwah,
But you know
fwah.
what? He will do kill ya in Call of Duty.
Okay.
Hey, I thought that was clever. I don't know,
It
man.
was
Very
nice. It
clever.
was very
Well
good.
done.
And
Never
I'm
done
so.
before.
Yes. Now that we got
Um,
the intro, let's hit Joe with the hard left with Akshay
Oh, sure.
with your question for him, Akshay.
With my question. Oh, okay,
Yes.
okay, okay,
Yes.
okay.
Yes. Yes.
So, on my way home from work yesterday, I thought about this podcast, and I remember reading a statistic on it was Twitter or Reddit or something, where this guy was comparing video games sold in the UK versus the United States based off of their population. So the UK has about
Right.
1/5 of the population of the United States. So we're at about 330 million, and you can do the math. The
Right.
video game sales
I
are
don't know.
about
Can
one
you, Keenan?
fifth.
Can you do the math, Keenan?
No.
Can
No.
you get it?
Fuck you guys.
Okay, about 65, give or take some change, right?
Yes, right, correct.
All right. And in video game sales, in I think it was like 2017 or something like that. It was like $31 billion for the United States and 4 billion pounds, which is about 1/5. And yet
Hmm.
the gun-related homicides are insane in the United States at like 14,000, and not 1/5 of that number in the UK.
Question.
So my question is based off of our combined almost half a century of video game experience, playing violent, non-violent, you name it, every
Or
game in the middle. Do you think that video game violence, like Call of Duty or Doom, that was my founding game, begets homicides and gun violence?
I honestly, in all honesty and sincerity, I don't think so.
Okay.
I
Okay.
don't think I personally don't think that video game violence is associated with like actual violence. Um, because I've been playing violent video games my whole life, and I'm not a violent person at all.
Until you
Um,
beat me last night.
and what is that?
Until you beat me last night.
I wasn't even with you.
I know.
I've been in Miami.
You beat that ass up.
But yeah, no, I mean, I personally don't think so. I mean, yes, there are, individuals that are influenced by it.
Okay.
Um, but I don't think it's enough to say, hey, video game violence correlates to a troubled youth, and
I agree.
I honestly don't think so.
I agree.
What?
And there's just I think video game violence has become a scapegoat.
Yes.
And I mean it's definitely a scapegoat for like gun control.
Yes.
Sure,
And
for
so,
sure.
what misconceptions do you think would be best for the audience to kind of understand? Because we come from a very unique background. I mean, I've been playing violent video games since I was 8 years old. That's
Of
27
course.
years of gaming under my belt,
Exactly.
And with that, like, I wouldn't consider myself a violent person. I wouldn't consider either of you violent people, having lived with Keenan for a number of years and him
Right.
explaining your relationship, like obviously like not violent.
Yeah.
What are
Although
your thoughts?
some of the ideas in my head were extremely violent. I just never went through with it.
Never acted on it, but I think everybody
No.
has like interesting thoughts. I cannot explain my dream, but I've run some stuff.
Yeah.
Of course,
I'm
of course. I
I'm
mean, I have very violent dreams.
yeah, I'm pretty sure
Um,
Joe wants to choke me
okay.
out every now and then on the show.
Not at all. Never.
Okay.
I've never had a violent thought towards you, Keenan.
Lies.
Never.
Never, never. I swear it.
Okay, well then that's the complete opposite for me.
But I think you have to understand that I'm actually Keenan's protector.
Oh
So
shit.
I would never
Uh,
want to hurt him.
Oh my god.
I remember this from one of the episodes where you went very in depth with Detective Duty,
Yeah.
Keenan Dunkaroo.
Yeah.
I feel like I need to. I feel like I need to protect Keenan.
Oh my God, I'm a man. I'm an adult.
Oh, I know you are, pal. I know you are, buddy. Of course, I know you.
Oh God. Well, Akshay and I
But I
were
don't know.
yeah. Go ahead.
So- Well, I just feel like okay. I've been like you said, Akshay. I've been playing video. I've been playing video games and to some degree violent video games for I don't know maybe 20 over 25 years. Definitely over 25 years. I mean, I started. My father had he's a computer guy. He likes technology, so he would buy. He would buy the latest in just tech in general. So I
Mhm.
remember having an Apple computer, like the Macintosh. I remember having all and playing battle chess, and that's pretty violent. Battle chess was incredibly violent back in like 1992. You know, um, because it was an animated chess game where the chess pieces were actually like doing stuff. Like so if a queen took a pawn, the queen would slice the pawn's head off and kind of
Oh
shit like
wow.
that. Yeah. And to me, like it was just a game. I don't know. I guess I'm able to separate reality from this fantasy.
From
And
video
to me,
games.
violent video games are just it's like watching a movie or watching a TV show to me. Like I'm not actually going to do anything about it. And
Right.
it's ridiculous to think it's ridiculous to think that a violent game would influence uh that it would influence a large amount of people enough to turn to tip the scales on violence just in general.
And I would say I would add that a small possibility of like maybe the de what do you call it? Not desynthesizing, but the lack of empathy for like a lot of stuff dying around you could be a small relation to like the interactive involvement of killing a bunch of shit all the time with video games, but maybe not to actually cause the actual death in real life. The association, I think, is very different because I think these people are trying to take something very broad and generic and covers a wide range of interactivity down to something very narrow and specific, which is kind of unfair. Like Joe said, there's violent movies that people would watch, and you can watch a shit ton of violent movies. I was mentioning Akshay earlier that we can go away from movies, and there's books or um, uh, music and audio, and like there's so many different variations that can involved in somebody's quote unquote trigger to do something that you can't just eliminate it, like Joe says, a scapegoat, and you can't just automatically say, well, uh, because of video games, there is violence, and then that's it. Like there's too much involved in it.
I agree.
The way I feel, look at it this way. If we're really going to take that route and say that video game violence is the reason why there's an uptick in violence in general, like in society, we could look at the Bible and say that the Bible was incredibly influential because it was. We know that there were the Crusades, and that's all based on religion, and that's all based on the Bible that people wanted to, you know, influence other cultures and change their uh, religious alliance, I guess, or and convert people for the sake of religion, and that's based on a book. So, like, are we going to say that the Bible influenced, which it did, it influenced the Crusades, and people use that as an excuse to like kill tons of people? I can't even put a number on it.
And they just use it as like a
So
positive thing, like, oh, this crusade was something good, whereas because it fits their narrative, but if it doesn't, then it's bad. So, uh,
Am I going off the rails on this one, or?
no,
no,
well,
I
you
think you're
can.
absolutely right. I
It's the
love
None
it.
of Our Business podcast. You can do whatever you want, Joe. You know
I
this
would love
show.
to
No,
hear about your
I just want to make
outlook
sure that
for
makes sense,
Gavin.
right?
Like
It makes
Gavin in
sense though,
video
right?
games. What do you think? What are your
Oh my
thoughts of the
goodness,
future?
my son would not hurt a fly, but
Yeah,
he's a
exactly.
badass.
Sweetest kid
But
ever.
he's a but he's a fucking badass on Call of Duty. Like for his age to be 9 years old, and to be killing in Call of Duty, but he's afraid of a dog or a fly or gets weirded out by like a mosquito. Like,
Right.
I mean, that says a lot.
Well, and
You know?
that also says to the things about what they a lot of times they I guess they try to use or not, which is the gun control part, the access to the guns. I mean, you could, as violent as video games are, if you think they influence somebody, but if they don't have a gun, will they automatically use find another weapon to do their task, or will they just say no, I don't have a gun, I'm not going to do it? Like there's other elements involved besides just the video game. Like your son wouldn't hurt a fly, but then their method is saying that, well, oh, if he had a gun, then he would kill that fly with a gun. And it's like, well, that because of him playing video games, and that can't simply be true. But that also means you're adding into the fact, well, he had access to a gun. So I don't know if it actually helps, but there's more to it than just straight video games and its correlation.
Right.
Yeah,
I agree.
No, I completely agree. Yeah, exactly.
like if they eliminated, like let's just hypothetically just say no more guns in the United States. I don't think that video games would continue the violence or increase it. I think something like that might even slow it down or stop it. But because you want or need those weapons, you have to find some other outlet to say it's cause and effect. But
Blame game.
but that's a good example for your guys' for your the story that you found about London. Like London has a really strict gun policy, especially for their police officers too. Um,
Right.
so it's like that no one's not seeing that cause. They're just seeing
But we
other.
also have to remember that I feel like we also have to remember that the United States, like making guns accessible to anybody, is
Right.
incredibly easy here in the United States. Like you said,
Yeah.
there's like there's so many policies and restrictions on guns came in, which we were. I feel like I just interrupted you. Like you were
That's
getting
fine.
to that point.
It's fine. It's fine. I get interrupted on the show every episode, so
Oh my God. Here we go.
so I'm used to it. But no,
That
you
wasn't
no, it's
that
fine.
wasn't my intention.
That's okay.
As I
Don't
was
worry,
saying
Keenan's
it,
talking.
as I was saying it, I feel like, damn, I think he was getting to that.
No, that's fine. But you can get to it. I mean, I was just making the point that um, in agreement to pretty much both of you that there's more to it than just going straight from video games straight to the person who did something bad, even if they reference the video game that they used before they did something bad. Um, and I think
Right.
I don't know how many of any of the shootings that has happened in the past, I don't know, 10, 15 years besides Columbine that the killers admitted to saying that they were playing a violent video game before they did the shooting.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
that's
can't
actually
remember anything either.
I don't know. I mean, there were other school shootings after Columbine, but I don't think a lot of people correlated or found out that they played violent video games prior.
Right.
Same thing goes for pretty much any of the cops who killed any of us minorities. I don't think they mentioned they played video games either.
Yep.
Yes, correct. And I feel like this was far bigger of an issue back in the mid to early '90s. I feel because that's when the idea of violent video games started surfacing. Because prior to that, I mean, it's not like gun violence and violence in general in the United States of America was missing. It
Right.
still happened.
It still happened.
So I think the the what am I trying to say?
Well,
I think that
they
go
related
ahead.
it to music. I remember early '90s was all about rap music influencing people to uh, for violent the increase in violence.
Right.
So
It's
that
always just a blame game. It's always
yeah,
just a blame game.
uh,
Finger
And
pointing
video
is easy.
games,
yeah,
yeah, because even now, I mean, you don't hear it as much. Like it's not something that's still continuously happening in like in Congress where the conversation about violent video games is being had. It's
Right.
not anymore. It's
Right.
not, or at least not as in depth. Yes, they did the rating system, but even then, that happened in what the I want to say maybe the early 2000s, late 90s, the rating system.
For the
Yep.
ESRP or something like that.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
Yep.
exactly for the video games. I can't
Um,
remember exactly when they surfaced, but that was, I mean, that was their shit regulations regulating
yeah.
And I
for
still
video
never
games
had a problem procuring any video game,
at
any
all.
rating. It's kind of like a PG-13 movie. It's like, hey, are you 13? Sure.
Yeah. Why
Yeah,
not?
all right, there you
I'll
go.
be
Go
it.
ahead, right
Yeah.
on in.
Yeah.
Your seat, sir.
And then you had
So yeah,
violent arcade games. You had Mortal Kombat and stuff like that out, which you can just walk into the arcade and start playing the game if you had a quarter.
Yeah. No
yeah,
one's gonna kick you off of
exactly.
it. No one's
No.
gonna say a word, and yet it still stays. And yet there's a large demographic of not only the United States but the entire world that argues that violent video games are the root cause of gun violence in the respective nations, and I totally disagree.
Which
And I'd
is
love to
so
bring that to the
ridiculous.
podcast, get the opinions of my peers, and maybe one day you guys could have a fan or someone that listens to the show with a different opinion, and you guys could chop it up with them and open up the floodgates. I
Well,
would
Definitely.
love to listen to that episode. It's not more of like debating or alienating that opinion, but just more of just understanding it from like a core
I just
place. I
feel
would love
it's
to hear it.
yeah. I just feel it's a ridiculous idea. Like to think that all of a sudden now all of a sudden like violence is attributed to video games. Like,
right.
that's ridiculous. You
Right.
crazy?
Well, there's. I mean, we definitely can agree as gamers that the especially gamers who play violent games, we know that a lot of these games that are out there that are definitely gory and definitely violent, um, whether they show blood or not, there is still shooting involved. There's still beating someone down involved. But once realizing or understanding that, the next step is like, okay, well, to understand what the relationship per person, which is kind of hard to do because there's a lot per person that it's real effect on. Because us three have all played this kind of stuff, and none of us, would really lift a finger to do anything massively crazy to hurt anybody. So, um, yeah, the real question is what is actually causing people to do harm to one another? And then when you get to that question, you definitely can't really just isolate it to just video games because
Correct.
we have plenty of, like Joe said, in history, we've had plenty of homicide, murders, rapes, wars, assaults, long before electronics were even involved. So, uh, to to make video games like a catalyst or a cause is kind of a stretch. Um, but
Just okay.
yeah,
Look at it this way. Movies like Indiana Jones used to be rated PG-13. I mean PG.
PG, yeah,
A movie like Raiders of the Lost Ark, and I don't know if any of you have seen it recently, but that was rated PG.
yeah. There was some shooting in that, heads
So it's
melting
like,
off faces.
oh, there's more than that. Exactly.
Yeah,
So
Yep.
are you gonna tell me my 8-year-old son could have gone and watched it with just a parent, and he was gonna be okay after watching a Nazi's head melt? Like,
yeah,
what the fuck?
yeah. And that
He would
says
not have been okay.
and that says something about the parents too, especially as you, Joe, as a parent. I remember my parents would cover my eyes up during those scenes. And there's probably parents out there who wouldn't cover up their kids' eyes or wouldn't care or wouldn't be really involved in their kid's life, which could be an even more cause for some child to actually do something crazy because there was no recourse or punishment or there was no explanation. There was nothing. So, because we
But
all,
again, I
yeah,
feel like that isn't that. But even then, I feel like that isn't influence enough
it's not. It's not.
to
So
cause
it's
violent
yes, it's
outbreaks.
definitely not. All the things that I say, I believe, are really just pieces of the puzzle. My firm stance on everything is that not one entity is an isolated incident to cause anything negative. And
Right.
I mean that very broad. I mean, shit. All the stuff that I talk trash about my roommates isn't really caused from just one incident. There's probably a series of things that usually go on that affect my negativity towards whatever my outbreak is. So, but on this case of like violence, it's more an extreme case. But that's my stance. Like nothing we do in life is really caused by just only one event solely. Like you may not know it, but some butterfly probably flapped its wings before you even got to your breakup of your ex, or your husband or something like that.
Right. I agree.
I like that.
I agree. Look
Yeah.
at that. Look. The subtle mention of the butterfly effect. Look at that.
Speaking
Look at
of,
you, Keenan.
I
You're
know.
graduating,
I'm
pal.
I'm trying. Well, Joe, as the people know who listen to this show, Joe is obviously in the East Coast. Akshay is up in the North Bay of California, and then I'm here in Los Angeles. So, I'm trying my darndest, sir. I'm trying my darndest to be a good leader of the None of Our Business podcast till Joe comes back and reigns his superiority as king of the podcast. We'll see.
Love it.
I'm
Killing
a
it.
regular
You're
guy.
killing it.
But Joe,
Keenan,
what? You had a question?
wait. First,
What?
before we continue,
Oh, okay.
I just want to make sure that I give you recognition for what you did last week.
Of catching COVID? No, I'm kidding. I didn't. I don't know if they did, but what do you
Hope
mean?
not.
What do you mean recognition of last week?
You had a pretty great show. I mean, you had a great episode. Um, the one thing I can't, the funniest thing to me was just your decline.
Of like drinking?
Just your spiral into unconsciousness.
I know it's great. Actually, I don't know if you heard it yet, but the latest episode, the one last week. You definitely will witness while listening to it the progression of me getting drunk and drunker to the end of the night, where I was just like, I was not COVID safe. I was not coherent. I was doing some stupid shit, and I wound up coming home. I was talking loud to my Lyft driver, and I threw up mad crazy when I got home. It was bad.
Perfect night.
And swore off I would never drink. And then I fucked up the show because I locked myself out of my house, and I had my cell phone in there, my phone in there, and I couldn't get Joe the audio for him to, decompress and do all that stuff to get on the show. So like a whole day almost went by of us not getting our show on the air properly because I got super sloshed. I was very
You know what?
unprofessional.
Like this is such a good segue because this is exactly why you should have partied with us and hung out with us in college so that you would have built up a tolerance and become more responsible. Now it's kind of like pushing that senior status of like saying, "Hey, I've been there, not my day. I learned." I mean, for the listeners, Keenan was my roommate in college. He was my first roommate.
Yeah.
He was different.
I was a straight edge.
Very straight
Check this
edge.
out.
Go ahead, Joe.
Check this out, Akshay. The funniest part about that
Uh-huh.
is that only a couple of years later he was getting sloshed out
Yeah.
of his mind.
Oh my God! Like the butterfly, he just grew some wings and popped out of that pupae, and now look at him, unstoppable. Versus the rest of us, we were been there, done that. We're working on offspring, and
Oh my
he's still
God.
kind of growing. He hasn't reached his plateau yet,
Yeah.
So, do you have any interesting stories?
Oh God.
Oh my God, for Keenan, yes.
You were
Let me
his
start
very
with
first
meeting
roommate.
Keenan.
Yes, Akshay was my very first roommate, and I was his very first roommate. We were all new.
Yes. Oh my
Yes.
God! So meeting Keenan, I didn't know Keenan was how you said his name. Let alone, I didn't know Keenan was a boy's name.
Or black.
So I didn't know that was new. That was a surprise. But I remember getting my papers. papers, and I remember seeing Daniel on the papers. I remember seeing someone named Gene on the papers, and I remember seeing CNN. And losing my mind, thinking, "Oh my God, am I living with two girls and a dude? Like, what's gonna happen? Do my parents know? You know, it's like I don't know if my son. I was 18 years old, a freshman. I had never done anything like this. I was an introvert. I was quiet. I liked my corner. And when I get there, I'm just introduced to the biggest mismatch of people that somehow made it work for the better part of a year.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. Eves was he was like this tall black dude, like from he was Haitian.
Haitian.
Yeah. And Daniel was like this small, sort of scrawny, white looking dude. And then you got me, who's like I guess a tall, skinny, scrawny looking dude. And then Akshay.
Yeah, also tall and skinny,
Tall,
and so
skinny, scrawny
like
looking dude.
all three of us, me, Dan, and Keenan, we like definitely got along because we were like very nerdy, and Eves was this just amazing role model. I mean, he was huge. He was like 6'2", 300 pounds of just pure muscle. He was a DJ, and he was bunking with Daniel, who looked like he belonged at an Apple Genius bar.
He did.
Wait a minute.
He did.
It sounds like you guys just described the Ninja Turtles.
Oh my God, that's it. We were the Ninja Turtles. We had Raphael, Donatello, Michelangelo, and Leonardo all in one place. It was
Oh
ridiculous.
God.
And yet we didn't have an April O'Neil floating around.
I know. I don't think I definitely didn't bring any girls to the apartment, which was kind of sad. But I think Eves might have, and Daniel did. It was like it was the early days. We're talking no. This is when shit. I don't even think Facebook was created yet.
No, it
No.
was limited to only Ivy League schools back then.
Right.
State
Yeah,
wasn't
right.
on the list. I
Right.
remember it popped up, I think, like 2004 for us. So
Yeah.
we had just moved out into the next place, which I got to live with Keenan at.
Yeah, and you told me about it. Akshay was the one who introduced me
different.
to Facebook because Akshay, I think, was on Friendster.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
Wow.
Oh, I have
Yeah.
not heard that in a long
Wow.
time.
yeah. And then you told,
Friendster.
yeah,
Friendster,
and
Facebook.
you wanted me to join Friendster, and then like a week later, you're like, no, go to Facebook. Just sign up to Facebook.
Knees, man.
Yeah, and Facebook was cool back then because Facebook allowed me to link up with. It somehow knew who was in my classroom. I guess whatever association it had with the campus, it was like
Yeah.
only college based. So all of my people in the classroom who I didn't know, I can just click on the classroom name and then look at the list of people and pictures who are in there and just automatically add them up.
Yep.
It
It
wa-
was so. It was such a nice tool to get to know people in school.
Yes, and then somehow they fucked it all up and released it to the rest of the world.
Yep.
Um,
Everything is broken. But more about Keenan. 'Cause we like Keenan.
It's the stories.
Keenan in a nutshell, right? So Keenan was that guy, super straight edge, in bed by 8:30. Class was at 8 a.m., so he needed, 11
I
hours
was
of sleep
asleep.
and 30 minutes to get ready and get to class. And yet he still managed to be late, if not skip, every morning session. And
that's not
I
okay.
remember
Uh,
I remember being a gamer, and Keenan did not like that. Keenan loved video games, but didn't love the fact that I was a gamer, because I'd be up till 2, 3 in the morning playing
Yeah.
video games. I was a huge Counter-Strike fan back then.
Counter Strike and
I would be
wow,
up.
yeah.
And it got to the point where Keenan got so upset
I
that
did.
he held a town meeting with everybody in the apartment and said, "We need to do something about this because I can't get to class."
I was like, I can't
And-
sleep. I can't. All I hear in my
Voted out of my bedroom. I
what
had to move my desk to
What-
the living room.
what had happened was
Wow.
no, I was bad. I was pretty bad. And it's funny because ever since he got moved out, I think once we moved into a new place together, I think that's when the apologies started, and I was like, I kept feeling bad that no, it, I forgot when it was. It was some moment when I think I joined World of Warcraft or something like that. But some moment in history, I started apologizing to Akshay, going, "Man, I feel bad that I did that." But at that time, yeah, man, I was very adamant because all I can hear in the back of the room, even when he has headsets on, was I'm sleeping, and all I hear is no. No, no, no! Go there! No, no, no! Shoot him! Get him! No, no, no! No, do this! No! I was like, "What the fuck?"
Me and my call-outs.
Yeah, all our Call of Duty callouts was happening on Counter Strike, and I couldn't handle it at the time. So, especially since I wasn't drinking or smoking, um, I, uh, I did an executive decision and and, and voted Akshay off the island.
Yeah, essentially onto a separate island.
Onto a separate
I
island.
could sleep on the main island, which is great, but I couldn't cohabitate
Yeah.
on the main island. I had to be ostracized, and it got to the point where Keenan had a couple of cooking adventures.
I did. Oh my god, these are
where
bad.
He would use like my cutlery and all sorts of tools because I had brand new pots and pans and the whole shebang. So Keenan thought it'd be a great idea to use the microwave to make a baked potato.
Yeah.
And he put it in there, I think, for 90 hours and forgot about it.
It wasn't that was okay. That what had happened was, again, so that was it was an extended period of time. I still feel embarrassed to this day to say it, but it was like for like 20 minutes or 25 minutes to put it in a baked potato, and you're only supposed to put it in there for like 5 minutes. So we're talking like 3-4 times the amount you're supposed to, but yeah. Akshay, tell Joe what happened afterwards.
So I'm playing video games, right? And all of a sudden, Keenan comes out of the room, like a long time after he starts cooking. Goes, "You see all the smoke in here?" And I am totally just focused on games, right? I'm like, "What smoke?"
Joe,
and I look around, and the entire apartment is just buried in this thick level of smoke, and now I can smell it. And I'm like, "What the hell is going on?" And Keenan runs to the microwave, sees his baked potato on fire, pulls it out, sprays detergent on it to put it out because we didn't have a fire extinguisher, and breaks my plate.
Wow.
Yeah, the great potato of 2005.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now let's talk about Keenan's hygiene, because I think this is very important. Now, Joe, have you heard of Mount Keenan? Are you familiar with Mount Keenan?
I have not heard of that.
I heard of Mount Keenan.
Joe knows, but he might not know the reference you're talking about. But yeah,
Oh,
explain Mount Keenan to Joe.
Okay. So Keenan has a habit of dealing with fresh laundry in a unique manner. So Keenan would do laundry like a normal person once every 2 weeks, give or take some change, depending on what he needed when he needed it, right? And so he would make this amazing pile of fresh laundry, right? It would take him the better part of the weekend to get it done. And he would bring it upstairs and put it on his bed. And it'd just be this heaping mound. And at night, when he was ready to go to bed, he would take this Mount Keenan, and slide it off the bed onto the floor. Curl up into bed. And then in the morning, he would pick up this mountain, put it back on the bed every single day. I witnessed this phenomenon for months of him building Mount Keenan and taking it down. And I wonder if that was part of his just like bedtime routine. I'm almost certain he's still doing it today.
No comment. But it's not.
I can neither confirm.
It's not clean clothes anymore.
Oh, really? Okay, so the dirty clothes go onto the floor and then back onto the bed.
Yes.
Got it. It's not clean clothes. Oh, okay, good. So we progressed a little bit in the wrong direction.
Yeah. It's pretty. I was.
Still progress.
Yeah, Joe's seen my room pretty messy. From occasionally. I mean, it's rare that he comes to my house, but when he does, sometimes it is kind of trashy.
The one time I went to your house in LA, I remember that you couldn't open your door all the way because there was stuff blocking it. And I think the reasoning was, I'm moving stuff into the garage. You got to give me some time because I'm not there yet. And I don't think it was during a time that you were working. I think it was just like a time where you were just too busy with the game.
It could have been. I don't know. Yeah. maybe.
He's
And
always
that
he's
was
always
all year
busy.
one with Keenan.
Yeah, that was within a year. We had a lot of stuff that we did.
Oh my god. Year two was nuts.
I
Do you remember Martine
Really?
in chemistry?
oh fuck. Okay.
I have
So-
never ever seen a teacher behave this way to a student. So Keenan one day is in chemistry lab, and it's me, Keenan, and a good friend of ours who turned into my roommate eventually, Brian. And we're in chemistry lab. It's 8 in the morning. It's a 3-hour lab, and Martine's over there. He's explaining the day's activities. He's going into the detail. Here's the experiment. This is what's the expectation for your notebook. Make sure you have it all down. You got 3 hours. The clock starts now. Do you have any questions? And everyone's quiet. Everyone knows what to do. We're all bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, ready to go. Let's start this. And Keenan raises his hand and says, yeah, I got a question. Do you know what time McDonald's stops serving breakfast? And Martine looks at him and flips him off. And Keenan's like, message received. And we all just get to work, right? We're all busting up. But still, Keenan was that guy in our lab. Every single day, he found something to say or do that would drive poor Martine crazy.
I was a bad kid, Joe. I was different.
This is a college course, Joe. And people paid thousands of dollars to be there. We're not trading our money for wasted time. We need to learn stuff, and we need to go. We have careers to get. And Keenan's asking a very prominent person what time McDonald's stops serving breakfast when McDonald's is a block away.
Hey, I was hungry. I needed to know. If I could only see
that guy.
I was that guy. If I could only see
He
your
was
face,
that guy.
I was that.
Still is. Has
Wow,
not changed.
Probably, yeah, pretty much.
So when I listen to the podcast, I hear that conversation every single time. I cannot stop, but just start busting up. It's just hilarious.
Yeah,
You are something else.
I was very bold back then. And we were talking about the whole roommate situation. And I think I had this right, but Joe, you've never had like a situation where you lived in a household with a bunch of strangers. You were always usually like with your family, right?
Yes, correct. Well, yeah. Yes, more or less correct. Yes.
Yeah. Uh, it's
I've never been placed in. I mean, I did have
is
I did
somebody
have a roommate for about a year.
okay?
But
But some
I did have a roommate for about a year, but it was I mean, we were just yeah.
is somebody watching
It
TV
wasn't
behind
awkward.
you?
Yeah. I'm in my room. And, I have my friends in here.
Oh, okay. The audio's picking it up really well.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. It's
Edit that out in post.
I guess so. Well, at least Joe can try to. Cause
It's just a very, very thrilling action scene.
oh, okay. But yeah,
But yeah, I did. But we were our roommate lifestyle was
very
a
different.
lot different. Than
Okay.
you guys' yeah.
Yeah, there's
There
no
was a lot of drugs.
oh, shit.
Was it ever with
A
like
lot
just
of them.
brand new acquaintances where you're like, I don't really know you too well, but hey, we're sharing something. Let's go. Let's do this. Let's make it
No.
happen."
Okay.
No. The people, the guys I lived with, we knew each other. We were good friends,
I see.
and we were what do you call it nowadays? Ratchet. We were
Okay.
ratchet.
I see. Well,
I think the new term nowadays is called fuckboys.
Fuckboys?
Yeah, that's what we were.
that's what you were. Oh God.
We're a bunch of fuckboys doing fuckboy things.
Well, we actually did. Him and I did have an agreement that kind of speaks back to an episode where I was saying about how I love the experience I had in college because Akshay and I we did a lot of cool stuff and went through a lot of like crazy things that we wouldn't really want to trade the experiences we had for anything, but we do feel like because I agree with Akshay, whereas like I probably should have went to community college before I went to SF State. But I'm thinking about that on like a financial piece. Was that kind of the same thing that you were thinking of too, Akshay? Like,
Oh, absolutely. Because I look at like my education at SF State, and the timing was really tough for me. We were going through some stuff over there. I mean, we were in the middle of a recession.
Yeah,
And do you remember all the furloughs and trying to find classes just to get out of school? It really prolonged our experiences. We met some people that got lucky and they were able to get out of school in 5 years,
right,
but that wasn't the case for our little cluster with all the science courses that we needed to take and balancing the seniority system, which was a little bit broken.
right.
It was tough, and so had I gone to community college for 2 years, I may have been able to transfer to maybe a better school than SF State. Maybe not, who knows?
Right.
But I felt that maybe that would have opened up more opportunities for me to get my career started a little bit sooner.
Yeah.
Who's to say? But I would not trade the experiences that I had with the people that I met. I met some amazing people. I mean, Keenan is just one of the more amazing ones that's kept in touch. But
Yeah.
I can't say that I had bad experiences with anyone. I never got into any fights. I never had any squabbles. Like all of the people in college were fantastic, and the names like I just dozens and dozens and dozens of people that I just made great memories with, just having lunch with. Or I remember Keenan, Brian, and I would go to get food. It
Yeah.
looks like we lost Joe there.
Oh, Joe, are you still there?
There he is. He's back.
Oh, we lost Joe. Maybe he went to another room.
There
Are
we
you
go.
back?
There we
You're
go. I'm
back?
back. I'm back. I'm back.
Okay. Now you gotta read. How long were we out? What was the last thing you remember?
Um. Shoot.
Okay. Uh, a new topic because Joe.
Oh, run it back. Run to somebody
well,
else.
yeah,
Yeah.
I lost connection about like a minute ago, less than a minute ago.
Oh, my bad.
Well, the topic was on going to community college first instead of going straight to yeah,
where I got disconnected.
yeah.
Well, you had mentioned that you and Akshay were having a conversation about you should have gone to community college first.
Yeah, so Akshay was just you can re-explain to Joe why you think you probably should have went to community college before SF State.
So a lot of it was just timing. Timing was tough. With being there with the recession, we went through furloughs, so we didn't have the opportunities to
Ooh.
get the classes that we needed, which is very, very frustrating. And so a lot of us were forced to graduate in 5, 6, 7 years when we were on a 4-year track to begin with. And that was really
jeez.
burdensome on our pockets, like SF State.
Of course.
We saw some crazy fee hikes. I remember starting, it was like $800 for a semester, and that was up to 19 units. And by the time I left, it was 4,500, and that's explosive
Yeah,
Hell
for such
yeah.
a short amount of
Holy
time.
smokes.
But I remember thinking, like, maybe, in hindsight, I should have gone to community college. Maybe I should have saved that money and put it elsewhere and been a little bit more successful. Maybe get out of school in 4 years had I transferred to another school or transferred to SF State later. Who knows? But I think about the memories that I made with the people that I made them with, and I could not trade that. Keenan was fantastic. I mean, such a good friend, like a lifelong friend. You don't keep in touch with a lot of people in college, but the people that you do keep in touch with are the people you keep in touch with forever.
right. And
And so I
yeah,
would not trade that, Keenan. I
Yeah.
definitely would not trade that. Just going to McDonald's with you and Brian was one of my favorite experiences because we were like, hey, do you want to go get some food?
Yeah.
I'm down. It's a cheap meal. And the trek from our apartment or our on-campus housing,
right.
I mean, it was ridiculous. And there were times that we were braving some elements, like there were days like we had almost like a literal snowstorm
Ah.
in San Francisco. Remember that weird,
Yeah,
week where it was coming down? The ice felt like snow. It was crazy how much
Yeah.
it was.
it was
And
wild.
we
Yeah,
survived it.
It-
The trio. It was awesome.
it was hail,
See,
but
so-
it was yeah, it felt like snow.
So
Yeah,
those experiences, like you said, and Keenan, you always talk about it like, yo, I know I'm in a mass amount of debt, but you know what? I would have never traded it for the world.
exactly,
Like,
exactly.
there's like so I mean I can understand that. I can understand that. I didn't have the college experience that you guys had, but I definitely like there are definitely experiences that I've been through that I'm like, well, there was a lot of crazy shit that happened, but at the same time, I'd never trade that because
Right.
I bet.
Right.
in for all of us, it made us the people that we are today.
That's true. And those experiences, just walking to McDonald's was like 3-4 blocks away. Was almost like all those moments was an episode of None of Our Business podcast, just with me, Akshay, and Brian. And it's like,
Oh, that's
sadly enough,
fantastic.
we couldn't record them because we didn't know about podcasts or the existence of stuff like that then. But that's what it felt like. Like the enjoyment that we have and the conversations that we have on this podcast was like that every single day with Akshay and Brian. And sometimes it's just me and Akshay. Like
Yep.
just walking to a place, um, which is weird because I mean that's not a heavily emphasis now with COVID and all that shit. Just being able to
Yeah.
walk with a group of friends down to something local, but
Oh God. Tell me
uh,
about it.
it's great that we have those memories. It's super enjoyable. But yeah,
I remember looking out for each other. I remember when we used to go to Albertsons or Safeway, and it was about a mile and a half away.
yeah,
So it would take us, a good 30 minutes to walk there, take us an hour to shop, and then 30 minutes to come back. So we had to plan like a big chunk of time that we couldn't study or work just to get food
right.
to help us last for another week. And it's such a simple thing, but we take it for granted. But when you have to walk that far after just being just beaten up by work, beaten up by school, uh, it can be frustrating. And it was so nice having friends like Keenan that I could walk back, and if I got too much food and I could not carry it, we would take breaks
Yeah,
and help each other carry our groceries back home.
right.
And we would kind of caterpillar our way there, where it's like we walk groceries, like half a block, go turn around, pick up the rest of it, and walk half a block, just because we did not want to go back to that store in another 7 days.
Yeah,
The crazy, and then when you think about it, technically, I mean, not technically, but you guys are still kids. I
yes,
mean,
Yeah.
what, you
yes,
guys
Oh,
were under
18,
20, you're like
19 years
18,
old.
19 years old.
right.
Yeah, so you're doing all these things, and it's kind of cool that you have someone who's living that experience with you, that you guys can grow together and be like, yo, I'm never gonna forget that you helped me do my groceries. Like, and remember, you helped me carry my groceries, and it was
Yeah,
crazy, and we had to spend 3 hours doing it because we didn't have cars, and it's like, what?
yeah.
Yeah.
It's some
Now you
wild
think about
stuff.
it, you're like, wow.
In the
What
modern
what
age,
what
that's kind of unheard of. We could have Ubered,
what was
It's
yeah,
like, man.
I know if
yeah,
we
exactly.
if we only had Uber.
But paying
What
for a
was
taxi
literally
cab
a
back
three,
then
four
would have
hour
taken us out. We just
Yeah,
didn't have the money.
yeah. What
yeah,
was like a 3, 4 hour trek for you guys can be done in an hour or less,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Pretty much. Uh,
And sometimes exactly. Sometimes you don't even have to do it because now you have things like Instacart or
right,
shit like that where you can
Yep.
just put it on the app. Here, I want this, this, and this, and then somebody will deliver that shit to you.
right.
Yep.
And we thought
Back then,
yes, it was a
go ahead.
dream.
Yeah, no, well, no, I can't say that, but you in LA, I don't know if in the Bay there was Pink Dot. I don't know if you guys remember Pink Dot.
I remember Pink Dot,
No.
but we don't have something like Pink Dot in San Francisco. At least I don't
Yeah.
think we did.
So
What is
so
it?
in LA, there were the early. Well, it was basically like an Instacart where you could call
Okay.
them, and Pink Dot basically you could place an order for your groceries, and then
Oh,
they would deliver it to you. But this was, yeah, but you have to imagine the fee. So and the markup on all these things. So nobody really used Pink Dot unless you were like, wealthier, and you would just
right.
order your shit like that you didn't really didn't. It wasn't as easily accessible as it is today, where you could just really pick up the phone, put it in the app, and you're good.
Yeah,
Back
you would,
then, Pink Dot.
yeah,
If you wanted a 6 pack of beer from Pink Dot, you were paying like $20
Oh God.
for the beer plus the delivery service. So you're looking at like $30 just to get a 6 pack of beer. So
yeah,
it's
yeah,
just crazy to think like how much even then. Now we're thinking this is like what 18 years ago. How much has changed in those 18 years? And
Yeah.
and the fact that we can remember it. Wow, saying 18 years is crazy.
it's just saying
Like,
that.
that's like an adult person right there. That's like an adult. Like someone was
One
born.
adult ago.
Yeah,
Yeah, one adult ago. We're having experiences that was one adult ago. Like, what?
exactly.
Oh my gosh, this is crazy. This is crazy.
And yet, what a wonderful life, with the right people. What a wonderful life. I know there's a lot of things
Yes.
going on out there, and it's kind of a tough time for a lot. But damn, it's these little
Yeah.
connections that I say, you know what? I'm
Exactly.
thankful to be around, and I look forward to many more.
Here's the great part too. That was one adult ago, but look at us here. We're
Oh,
fucking still playing Call of Duty. We're fucking fucking. I mean, it's not a LAN party anymore, but we're just as connected as any LAN party was. Like
and the friends that we make, like I feel like I've made a new friend through Keenan, in Joe.
Yeah.
Like I mean,
oh
oh
shit,
my God,
shit.
Joe. I'm turning pink. I'm blushing right now.
Yeah,
This is awesome.
I tell
It's
you,
getting
Joe,
hot.
you I was on the lookout for another Joe in San Francisco. No, I'm just kidding. No, I knew, I
Can't
definitely knew.
find another
I
Joe.
know
No
there is
such
no other thing.
thing.
There. That's the beauty. Again, going back to our first topic of video games. Yeah, Call of Duty is a violent video game, but way far aside on left field of that is the connection you get through a community of friendships that you never thought would be possible, thanks to video games or certain types
Oh
of video
yeah.
Yeah.
games.
Oh,
Um,
tell me
Akshay,
about it.
100% Akshay,
yeah,
you have a friend in me for sure.
Oh,
yeah,
I
it's,
Like
like that.
there's no, it's undoubtedly you absolutely have a friend in me. Like I've never met you in person, but the we've communicated so much even within game because yes, we're playing a video game, but we're also it's like a chat room. It
right,
really
Yeah,
is.
right,
it totally is,
And
and
it's
we're
just
focused on teamwork and camaraderie on a different level.
yeah, exactly.
The
right,
From
success of
like
the team is measured by all of us succeeding, not just one of us.
right,
I can't
right,
exactly,
expect you two to
exactly.
carry me every day. I got to put in some
But
work and help out.
exactly.
but but
Yeah,
I can
yeah.
expect you
Oh.
to carry us out.
Because Akshay's the goat.
Oh God.
Yeah,
Akshay is the motherfucking
motherfucking
goat.
goat.
Like I'll be playing with some people and I see Stalker 45 come on and I'm like, I'm out guys, I gotta
The cat, the generals online. We need
go. The
to.
I
generals
only
online.
get on when
Reporting
I
for
see
duty,
you
sir.
folks. I hope you realize that. When I see you folks on, that's when I want to play. There's only a handful of people that I want to play COD with, and it's
Yeah.
you guys. So I get
Oh.
all
Aw.
hyped up. I get excited when I see Joe or Brad or like Keenan, you name it, Hugh. Just the gang. Still learning a little
Yeah.
bit about Kevin and Chava. They're awesome too.
Oh,
And
yes, yes,
Serge.
yes,
Right,
yes,
right.
Serge.
Love playing with you folks.
Yeah.
Uh, it's just such a
And
nice
Rube.
And
community
Rube. Yeah.
that you folks introduced me to because I didn't know any of these people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it's
yeah,
good
yeah,
to
yeah.
meet gamers that are not only mature but like to have fun. It creates a nice warm atmosphere. I just watched this terrible TikTok of this girl that was just being pummeled to the ground with the worst comments, and I go, "That's not my
Oh,
group.
dude.
That is not my
At,
group
No,
at
at
all.
all."
At
And
absolutely
I
all.
felt
not.
so bad for this streamer because it's like she's live on Twitch streaming and she has to deal
Hmm.
with this person, and even if you mute them, that animosity or that hate speech
Yeah.
doesn't go away.
No.
It
Someone else
doesn't.
is
It
No.
listening to
doesn't.
that. You may mute that from your chat. You may ostracize that person from your room, but it's still happening. And
Right.
it's going to
Right.
continue to happen with the anonymity of the internet. It's
It,
terrible.
it's
I
super
think
suck.
we should be further along.
I think so as
it
well.
it causes a chain reaction which I don't like. Whereas, let's say for instance she joins our group automatically, and I don't fault her at all, but automatically it makes she would have this mentality of we're now guys who could be just like the guys that she interacted with. And that negativity there is automatically there from the get go. There's not even an
They've
opportunity or
created that.
chance. Yeah, and then
As
we,
a community as a whole,
yes,
all it takes is one person to just ruin the culture.
yeah,
And
I don't know,
it
guys. I
drives me
want to
nuts.
say that we changed the game. I want to say that we changed the game. Like I'm
I
so
think we
comfortable.
are.
us,
I,
us.
I'm so comfortable. I'm so comfortable that I let my kid play without me with you guys. Like
Yeah.
I have absolutely
I'm sorry about that, Joe. I curse a lot when I play with your kid.
anytime.
My bad.
Hey,
I
man.
need to stop
Yeah,
doing
you
that.
never swear back. Like I have never heard Gavin say any swear words.
No,
Never
he
poop.
won't, and he'll
Won't
catch.
even say poop.
He'll catch me. He'll catch me saying some swear words, and he'll shut me down. I'm like, ooh, I'm sorry.
Man, you're not supposed to say that.
I know it's
God
bad,
says you're not supposed to.
but
Yeah.
I try to encourage. That's why I try to play with Yami a lot. Who is I think Brad's or Serge's friend too.
Friend.
And I try to play with more
Yami,
female.
right?
Yami, yeah. I try to. There's also a Yami too that I play with, like
Oh.
on a rare occasion. But I try to. And Ruben introduced us to somebody who I was more eager to play with another gender different than my own, just so I can have that experience and talk, and to show that we're not all the same. You know, we're very different. And you can be in part of parties that actually support who you are as an individual.
As an individual, as a player, we don't care about the caliber of player you are.
Unless
Like
you suck.
we're generally gonna.
I'm just
we
kidding.
we just won't play with you as often. Like we'll play with you, but I won't play with you as
We
often.
do like to win. Like, there's no better feeling than jumping in that helicopter with the winner banner and going, all
Whoa.
right, guys, cue up the music.
Yes.
Just get that tune going, and you're all hyped up. You're like, we did it. Let's run it back. Let's do it again. I think
And
the
run
very
it.
core group of players with the communication skills. To
Yes.
Get there, you can have great gun skills, but if you're not communicating,
Yeah, and
it's
so
not the same as
Yeah.
what we do.
yeah, and it doesn't matter. I mean, like that's
No.
and I try to make sure that I joke and be fun. No matter if I'm with a group of guys or there's a girl in, like I try not to hold back because I feel like that's also a disadvantage. Like you shouldn't be biased or be able not to be able to say whatever you want to say, just who you're playing with. So I like the kind of group that we actually do express ourselves in that game, no matter the type of gender you are. And it just super sucks when I do hear stories like that, Akshay, of these females who have to go through more BS on a fucking entertainment system, you know?
Yep, and they don't have the moderators that can help them clip it and ship it to Call of Duty to make adjustments. You know, like they're doing it all themselves or trying to.
Yeah.
It's a pain in the
Ladies,
butt to report people because you don't necessarily see the justice happen immediately.
No. Yeah. But if Joe's right, if there are any females out there who want to join the Gulag Boys, which is probably something you should change to now.
Yeah, we should probably like the Gulag, crew. Yes,
Liddy.
I know.
Ooh, I got it, guys.
What is it?
We're now the Litty Committee.
Liddy Committee. Let's go.
We are now the Litty Committee.
And that we have the
We're
name.
no longer the Litty Boys.
Oh my God, we're gonna have to make that as soon as we start back on.
I know, and
That-
regiment.
we also found the title of this episode.
That's the name of the episode. The Litty Committee.
I love it.
Oh wow.
I cannot wait
Okay,
to
well,
invite
now-
everybody to Squad 2.0.
And I
Okay.
I finally did the update too to Call of Duty, so I'm ready.
Are you guys ready for night mode? Because night mode is coming. We're just gonna keep. We're gonna stay on the topic of COD.
Wait. Explain this, Joe.
I didn't know about this.
What's going on?
Yeah, night mode is coming. I think it'll probably be. We'll probably have it next week.
Really?
No way.
What is this? What's the
Yeah.
night mode? Like it's
Night
just
mode in Verdansk.
it's just
Oh my God! So night vision goggles.
Yeah.
Yep.
Lasers pointing
Yep.
out. At
you have to put
people.
on flash guards too, or what is it called for your gun so it doesn't do the
Oh yeah, that's
Right.
right.
the flash. Yeah. Wow.
I'm super
Oh, man,
excited for this.
blackout
Guys.
rounds on the M13.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have been on, but they're already releasing like the operator skins. They have they're going to be releasing a Jigsaw and Leatherface.
Damn.
Oh, wow. Just
Okay.
in time for
Yeah.
Halloween, huh?
Right. Of course.
That's why they're doing the night mode.
Gotcha.
To
Dig,
keep
that's
with
so
the theme
cool.
of it.
So we're gonna play flashlight tag.
Of course we will.
Wow.
No.
Wow. Okay.
PC
So
version.
shit. I didn't. Okay. So I haven't played Call of Duty in about a week, maybe longer. So I definitely need to get back on and get my character up because I'm probably still at tier 20 or some bullshit like that. And I
I doubt that.
I don't know how many days I have left over to get to tier 100. I think it's like 10 or something like that.
You have a lot of time. I think you have like 30 days.
30 days? Okay. Because I got to do that. But yeah, dude. Now, Akshay, and this is something I encourage. This is why. Okay, I'm gonna get crazy with it because I'm getting emotional. But this is why I don't want people to be getting in vehicles, helicopters, in anything that's not on foot, because the most epic of wins happens when you're traveling across the map, battling it out, surviving firefights and hiding and all that stuff to eventually get the last kill. Because Akshay and I think Joe and I, we had one close, but Akshay and I had one of the most epic fucking wins you can ever imagine. It's just me and him, so it's duos, but we land in prison, and our adventure literally goes to one end of the map to the end. We ended up at the scrapyard in the hills, and all we did was walk. We didn't. I think I got sent to the gulag once. Akshay never died. He rarely does. But Akshay got like 10 kills or 11 kills. I got 5 or 6, and we were all on foot, and it was crazy. The epic firefights, the intensity, the nerve-wracking, like what's gonna happen in the next second.
Oh yeah, you get to like the top 5, and I don't know about you, but my heart
is
beating. I mean, I'm starting to feel like the sweat, the juice is going. I know that I'm gonna start shaking with the adrenaline, and I know that win or lose, it's gonna take me a second to cool down. But oh my god, like being in those moments.
Yes.
I haven't found a lot of things that get me there.
Then that's why, and the communication was great. Like as we were talking and making sure like nobody was on our backs, and we were hiding behind here, and we're hiding there. Let's go here. Let's
cover leapfrogging.
Yes, the leapfrog.
Call out,
yes,
like I think at one point we were shadowing another crew.
Yes.
Get into all the engagements because they didn't recognize us.
Yes.
And so we were baiting them, and in some cases watching their flank while covering our front end using them.
Yeah.
And they had no idea we were there.
And we took them out.
That was our strategy, was to play off of someone else.
Yes.
Just stay hidden. Like we were running Ghost and just being fully camoed up. It was brilliant.
Yeah. Ended up on.
So you guys let them third party the whole way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. For a good
fourth party.
For a good amount, and then once we got to the hills, we took it slowly, just riding the end of the hills, right where Scrapyard and the Boneyard is, and we come and we're just riding, we're just going up and down the hills while other teams were taking each other out, and then sure enough, the last person saw us come down the hill, and I threw a flashbang, and it confused him, and then I got the last shot and took it, and we got the win, and it was just like. It was crazy. That's why using helicopters, vehicles, tanks, whatever stuff can be fun, but it kind of just you don't get the experience of a real survival kind of thing, you know? Like you're on foot, you have to survive 150 people, and I'm doing something with Joe called Warzone Hardcore. And it's my own little thing that I do where
I actually like it a lot. You have to listen to it.
What you do is you cannot use a loadout. You can only use the guns that are picked up off the ground. And there was one other restriction, I forgot what it was.
You can't do any contracts.
You can't do any contracts.
Oh, wow.
You can't do any recons. You can
use the shop to buy things?
No.
Wow, so you
you can.
Available to you.
Oh,
no,
you
you
can't
can.
buy UAVs, you can't buy self-revive.
He didn't say you can use the shop. You just can't do contracts, and you can't get your own loadout.
You can't. Yeah.
Oh, that's difficult. That is tough.
Yeah. Those are the two restrictions, and so that's why. And it becomes fun because I did it once where I couldn't get my loadout because everybody was around it, and I wound up getting. I think it was like 3rd place or 2nd place in solos, and I was like, oh, well, this is kind of fun. Let me try this
Wow.
more often.
That's a testament to skill. That's not easy. People
Yeah.
Right?
want to get ghosted. They want to be invisible. They
Hmm.
want to use their guns,
Exactly.
their
Of
attachments,
course.
their way.
Whatever you pick
Uh,
up might
you're
not have a
putting on your
sensor.
own glove.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean that's brilliant. So to do it, to scrap, to
Yeah.
make it to the top, I mean that speaks about your skill. That's not easy to do.
Oh yeah, well solos. I don't know about you, Joe, or I know Akshay does fucking solos and quads, but I do really well in solos, quads, and then I start to lose it in trios and duos. For some reason, trios and duos, I do not as good as in going solo on my own and in a group of 4 people.
Oh
I
wow.
can't explain it. I don't know if that happens for you guys,
Oh.
but
I,
it's
I do. I mean, I do fairly well in solos. I honestly don't play. I don't play as much if I'm just playing by myself. If I'm playing by myself, I usually just stay in multiplayer.
right.
But when I have played Warzone just by myself, I tend to do fairly well.
Oh, okay.
And
Interesting.
I attribute it to just like having
Akshay.
played with you guys. For,
Akshay, the
well,
captain, my captain.
Akshay is a bit of my mentor. I've been trailing him. I mean, Akshay is the reason I started like working on the officer progression.
That's right.
Because
Oh
without
cool.
Akshay, I would have never known about officer progression.
So I
Mhm.
Because
cannot wait for you to get those final emblems because I mean they look pretty badass. I mean they're animated and it speaks to your commitment to busting your head against the wall against certain challenges that are some of them are tough. It's hard to get 40 vehicular kills. I
Right.
don't know about you, but trying to
exactly.
run people over 40 times in ground war or 40 times in
Oh
Warzone
gosh.
is difficult. Like you're a big target. That's the reason I don't like
Vehicles.
vehicles
Yeah, yeah,
because I just show up on the
Right.
map and people have launchers, they have grenades, they have C4, and it's like, man,
Right. Right.
and they can just shoot you out of a window.
Yeah.
So you have like 8 different ways that you can die, and you only have one way to kill.
yeah.
That's terrifying to me.
It's pretty bad. Uh,
Low moving.
yeah, yeah,
Right.
yeah. Is there any other game that you think provides that kind of like intensity and group fun? Like I've tried to play Apex. I didn't play PUBG. I didn't play a lick of Fortnite. So I just don't know. I'm not sure if there's any other games out there. Destiny was close. Destiny, would you say,
Destiny
Joe?
was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Destiny's a lot
Destiny was.
You know what? I really think it comes down to the user and their preference. I
Mm,
think right now in this moment we are obsessed with Call of Duty, and so we get that fix from it.
right.
But it could have been Destiny. It could have been, on the Battlefield side of things. I don't even know what game they're playing on Battlefield anymore. But I
Oh
remember
yeah.
trying to juggle, Battlefield 3 and I think one of the Black Ops games at one point, and I was like, I'm just gonna stay with Battlefield 3.
Well, that actually leads me to like, what is it about the games we play, or maybe just games in general, that you think gets us to just do it? Like almost like what people
Ah,
would think is like an addiction. Like people would see it. It's like no, it's not an addiction, but we just love playing it so much.
yes. You know what? I think I want to say it's community. And I also
I
think
think so.
we all have a sense of drive when we complete tasks, and there's
I think it's.
no better feeling than winning a game. What do you think, Joe?
I honestly think it's the camaraderie. Like, I don't think I'd play this game as much if I hadn't played it with you guys.
Yeah.
I agree.
And
I'm the same way.
that's like I play it now because I want to make sure that I'm ready for when I play it with you guys. Like,
Yep.
that's why I continue
It's
to play
practice
it
to be
because I just
perfect, and
I
love
want
it.
to make sure that I've improved myself
Yeah.
just so that when we do play together, I'm not like lagging behind, or I'm not the guy that you guys are always picking up again. Like, because I know when I first got back on Call of Duty, like I was when I first got back on Call of Duty, I was incredibly rusty because I hadn't played a Call of Duty game in forever. So I know I was the weakest link. But
okay.
I feel like now, no, I feel like now I've played it. I played it enough to where like, yo, I can actually contribute and I could actually be, the winning piece if need be. Like,
You have, and
I
I've seen
find
it.
myself.
I've seen it.
I find myself getting like in Warzone, like I find myself, doing 4 or 5s now, getting 4 or 5 kills,
Yeah.
and
Yep.
that makes me feel a
That's
little
awesome.
comfortable because I know if the rest of us could get them,
Yeah.
and we're doing a 20 piece, we're doing a 20 piece in a match, then it's like, oh, we did great.
Right.
Yeah, we took
Right.
out 5 squads.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
more than 1/10. We've taken out a ninth or an eighth of the playing field just by ourselves.
I like that. I like the idea of what you're getting, Joe, of competition, the naturalness of us humans to because when I see Joe getting better, it now makes me want to get better. Like he's doing badass in Warzone. I'm like, what the hell? I used to be better than Joe. And then now it's like, oh shit, now I got to go back and practice or play multiplayer or get things right. And that's just crazy to me to see that still natural competition we all have, even though it's not football, basketball, some stereotypical sport for us dudes to be involved with to actually fulfill that competitive nature. I think is really dope.
Right.
I
I
agree.
agree.
And
That's awesome.
to be able to do it in our own homes and separate, I mean, it just shows what Joe was talking about. The advancement of technology is mad crazy because conceiving something like this in 96, 97 with the fucking PlayStation 1 was like almost unheard of. I mean, I know
Oh yeah.
Dreamcast tried to do it with their first ability to do internet, but
Yeah, network connecting.
yeah, it's just wild shit. And it's funny that as much as we admire the crazy technology that we see, there's still a bunch of stuff that I think that is out there we don't see. Have you seen or noticed any of these? There's like these tech videos I come across on YouTube where it shows people's inventions or something like that. It's kind of like Shark Tank, but there's like no host or anything. It's just a series of promotional videos. Have any of you ever come across this at all?
No.
Like
No,
it's
I don't
some
think I
it's
have.
some wild
Can you give me an
shit.
example?
Yeah, I would look. God, what is it called? I'm not sure if you would type in great tech or something like that. I got linked to it, but let me see here.
What type of inventions are we talking about here?
We're
Like, I'm
talking
curious now.
futuristic type cars, concept cars,
Oh, cool.
people
So
that
it's
are
everything.
trying to do crazy. When I saw the invention of the dude on the surfboard that was floating above the water, and he like uses his body weight to push him forward or something like that, I saw that on one of these videos.
That's a
Um,
real thing,
Oh,
though.
with that
I mean, I've
big-ass
seen that in
fin?
Hawaii.
yeah, with the big ass fin. I saw that.
Yeah.
I saw that on those videos, and then like a year later, it's now like I see a bunch of people having it.
Oh, I see. So this is like kind of like the precursor to the trend type deal.
Yeah, I just wish I knew. It's not one of those where you see best cool tech or something like that. Oh God, I wish I remember the name of it. Um, I'll have to link it somewhere later, but it's basically it's almost as if someone took a series of promotional videos of new technology and then lumped it into one video on YouTube. Um, and I used to do it when I was researching up like flying cars and stuff like that.
No.
Um, uh,
Flying cars, is it going to happen in our lifetime? What do you think, Keenan?
I hope so. I I I know it can be
You're the
done.
engineer. Is it possible? Is it probable? Is
Yes.
it outside of the
It's-
price range of the normal person?
Ev-
Like, what are we talking?
Everything before except the last part. So the pricing is what's going to kill it, or is
I
killing it.
see.
Oh yeah. Okay. So if you look under Quantum Tech HD,
Okay.
this is all on YouTube, everybody. So Quantum Tech HD, and Freeze List, I think is another one. But you'll
Quantum Tech, if you are listening, this is a
free
plug,
promo.
So, yes, compensation.
Hey guys, real quick.
We'll take beer.
Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't mean to interrupt.
What's up?
So real fast.
Is that
Fucking go.
is that Surge?
That was Chris.
Oh
Chris.
shit!
So let's fucking go. The Dodgers. It's Game 7
Oh okay.
of the NLCS, and this is the do or die. If the Dodgers win today,
They go to the World
they're
Series.
going to the World Series.
Oh
Yep.
shit! Wait,
Teacher power.
wait a minute. When's the last time the Dodgers at the World Series? Was it recent?
1988.
Oh, 88. Whoa! Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So,
Oh, sorry. I'm
so
thinking of. I'm thinking
they,
of. I'm thinking of San Francisco. I was thinking of the Giants. My bad. My bad.
let me get a let's fucking go real quick on 1, 2, 3. 1,
let's
2, 3.
let's
Let's
fucking
fucking
go.
go!
Hey, there we go. All right.
Let's go
Let's get to continue.
Dodgers. Let's go.
Let's go Dodgers. Let's go. All right, there it is.
I mean, I'm not. I've always been a fan of watching sports and playing them. Like definitely playing them before watching them. But like going to the actual arena and watching it, or at least if I'm doing it at the house, it has to be around people. Is that the same for you, like Akshay or you, Joe? Like you need to be around
Yeah.
people to watch it. I can't watch it alone.
Well,
I
it depends on
struggle.
what the it depends on what the sport is for me. Like
Okay.
I can watch basketball at home all day, like by myself. I have no issue with that.
Yeah.
Same for the MLS. I can watch that by myself, or even like the Premier League or any of that stuff. Any soccer,
Yeah.
I can watch by myself. The baseball, I do have to admit, I have to watch it with people.
Okay.
I'm not like a huge fan of baseball, but you know, I can appreciate what it. I can honestly say 10 years ago I couldn't appreciate baseball.
Right.
Now I
Right.
can absolutely do it.
Okay.
And then football, I don't really watch football anymore. Like it used to be a thing for me, but not necessarily boycotted it, but I'm just not. It doesn't interest me anymore.
Gotcha. Is that the same for
But
you,
I'm
Akshay?
definitely able to
Oh.
watch sports by myself.
Oh. Okay. Okay. I mean,
For
yeah.
me, it's always been tennis. Like I love watching tennis.
Mm.
I think the challenge with tennis though is it's hard to tune into every match because they're played all over the world at different times. So I typically just tune in
Right.
for finals, or if I see a really cool matchup with a couple of folks that I've been following for a long time, I'll watch that. But to sit through it, I
Oh,
get
that's
so
cool.
antsy that I just want to go out there and play. So for me,
Oh.
I try to like schedule like play dates with my friends so I can go out and hit a little bit instead of watching someone else do it. And I struggle with watching sports because I rather go out and throw the baseball around. I rather go throw a football around. Hey, let's go shoot some hoops. Even if we just play horse, let's just get out there and do it. I'd rather be out there than watching it. Someone else do it. But when it comes to esports, I will binge esports. Like I will watch a Counter Strike tournament over a course of the week and watch like the preliminaries going into like the round of 16 all the way to the finals, and I won't miss a minute if I can avoid it.
Oh shit.
I don't know what it is, but I just get hooked by esports.
Oh.
It's so
That's
cool. It's
awesome.
something else.
That is awesome. That is
Uh.
awesome because you're treating it as an actual sport, which is what it has become. Like
Yeah. Oh, it's
people
huge. I mean,
genuinely
these guys
watch.
are making millions. They're sponsored.
Yes,
Like we're
exactly.
starting to see apparel. We're starting to see hardware. It's so neat because back in the day, a LAN tournament was done kind of like in a warehouse or in
Yeah.
a hotel, and it was like one and done. That's it. It's like wait till next year, and you get one in your region. Every
Yeah.
like 6 months if you were lucky.
And that's
So
what's
now
awesome,
to
like,
see that
about
it's
Yeah.
huge, and that there's entities dedicated to hosting games, that it's pretty neat to see the community come all the way around, and esports is blowing up. I
Oh.
love it, especially with COVID.
Yeah, I think I remember seeing. I want to say it was like ESPN2 or the Ocho or something like that. That app that was running.
Yeah.
What's crazy is that now there is the ESPN Ocho. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
like
no longer a
because
dodgeball
of
reference.
because of dodgeball. Like
Yeah.
now there's an actual Ocho. Like you
Yeah.
can watch the eight.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
ESPN3
it's
is awesome online. You can stream everything
yeah.
whenever you need it, and it's fantastic. It's such a great outlet.
Wait, what
And
is
they're
it?
starting to
It's-
feature,
You can stream the Ocho online?
I believe, on ESPN3
Yeah.
online. I
Wow.
don't know if that's still a thing, but that's what I was watching when I was watching a lot of tennis a couple of years ago.
Wow,
Yeah,
ESPN
it's
3.
crazy.
That's crazy. Uh
It's crazy.
dude, actually you remember when you tried to teach me how to play tennis?
Oh yeah, that
'Cause
that
he
was
did it.
great.
He
So
tried.
He was a natural born athlete. I remember playing basketball with him. I remember playing a little bit of badminton with him at the gym at
Yeah.
Penn State. And so I thought, hey, let me bring you on the court and let's play some tennis. And I'm pretty sure I hit you a couple times. So you're a good sport. But It's funny, like talk about a totally different level of coordination and finesse that you need for tennis. I mean, he was hitting bombs out of the court. He's like, "Did I win?" It's like, no, it's not about how hard you hit the ball. It's about how accurately you can place the ball.
Yeah, and we Akshay eventually was like gave up and was like, I'm gonna teach you the little kids game that we always do training for like toddlers. And I was like, sure, let's do it. And then I actually like that way more than playing real tennis. And that's
Like
all we
game
did.
tennis.
So
And he was good at it.
I'm pretty
He was
sure
really good.
I frustrated Akshay with Akshay wanting to play real tennis, and all I wanted to do was do the kiddie one. Oh man,
You don't
Really?
frustrate me.
I
tolerate
don't.
you.
Oh, okay.
That's right. I heard that.
No. That's everybody's story.
Oh, no.
So is this like the ninth inning, Joe, or what's the deal with the Dodgers?
Oh no, no, the game started.
Oh, the game just started.
Oh wow.
Yeah, literally.
Oh, I was like, oh, that screaming and yelling. I thought like they were at the end of it or something like that.
Oh no, it just started.
Are you happy? Are you happy that LAFC won last week? What?
Yes.
Oh, you sound sad or something.
Well, what do you mean? Yeah, yes, but I mean, we just lost.
Oh, you did? Oh shit, my bad.
Yeah, we just lost a couple of days ago.
Damn.
And we actually played today too.
Oh shit. All right.
Yeah, we actually have a game today at 7 p.m., which is 10 where I'm at.
Oh, okay. We never did play.
Right.
We never played at all, did we? Like real sport. Like you, Joe. We never did a sport together, did we?
No, that's ridiculous. Why would I?
Got it. Next set, Joe.
Okay. We
I'm
play.
gonna let the athletes do the sports.
Okay.
I'll just admire and revel on their glory. You know? Like,
We'll just play Call of Duty. That's our
There
sport.
you go. You're an esport player.
Yeah.
It's all
I'm an esport player. Hey man, you
for
put me
everyone.
you put me in the middle of her desk, and I'm probably gonna get
Yeah.
10th place or higher. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah,
I-
you take some
yeah.
people down. That's
Yeah.
for sure.
You definitely
You'd be a
got.
threat.
That is an interest, Joe. That night mode is really gonna be something. Now I'm thinking about it. It's
Yeah,
like,
it really is.
wow. Like
Yeah.
it'll feel like a whole new game. Even though
I'm
all
thinking
they.
about skins, I'm
Yeah.
thinking about thermal, like I'm thinking about my scope, I'm thinking about suppressives.
Or well, you
It'd be interesting.
can you shoot out the? You can't shoot out the lights, can you? No, you can't. Or will
No,
they?
you can't.
Okay, it'd be
Yeah,
nice.
it makes you wonder what areas are going to be lit, what areas are not going to be lit. Like,
Yeah.
will the military base just have floodlights all over? Will the stadium light up?
I know,
partially
yeah.
because the dome's kind of broken. What would
Yeah.
the train station be like?
Yeah.
I
And-
still haven't played with the subway trains. I don't
Oh,
know
you
if
haven't?
folks
Yeah,
have,
we did.
but
That's the first thing
I've
we
gone
did.
down there and I jumped around and I saw the electricity on the rails, but I have not played with the subways and rode them around town.
Wait. You haven't gotten the blueprint yet?
He
No,
hasn't.
what
He hasn't.
blueprint?
Oh,
I'm sorry, guys.
Akshay.
I work nights now, so I hardly get to play with my friends. I miss you guys,
I
but
miss
I've been
you
trying to
too,
do
man.
everything solo in MP, and it's a challenge when I don't get to see you.
That you know what? In all honesty, that new blueprint of the train station one is a little tough.
Yeah.
If you don't know what you're doing, it's pretty tough.
So
Yeah.
what's the premise behind it? Like, what do you got to do?
You have to do some decoding. So you land at the bank first.
Okay.
No, it's City Hall.
City Hall.
City Hall.
Is this with the
So you-
pictures?
Yep.
You have to
Yes,
get pictures and some sort of code, and then after that,
Yes,
I got
exactly.
tired. And I just went to.
He said,
That's
"Fuck it."
I was like,
it.
I don't
That's
want to solo
exactly it.
this.
Yeah.
That's exactly. You can't solo it because you're restricted by time. So if you don't have somebody giving you the call outs on what you're entering, it's going to be tough to do.
Yeah.
It's incredibly tough. To do.
Actually, do you ever visit Los Angeles so you can meet Joe?
Wow, so I haven't been down there in a long time. I mean, I think one of the last times I was out there was for a convention, maybe
Mhm.
about 4 years ago. And then
Oh, wow.
before that was my cousin's graduation where we met up, Keenan.
That's
And
right.
we had an epic evening.
I
going
got
around town.
I got drunk.
You got wasted. I got to see your
God.
house. Your mom was there. It was great. Like,
Yeah.
we went to Philip's
Bro.
house and you showed me all the cool stuff.
That's
that
right.
he had.
We
Oh my
did.
God.
Yeah.
Talk about like nerd paradise. He's got the coolest stuff. Oh my god! Like every single thing was like a trophy. It's like you got that poster,
Yeah,
you have that doll,
yeah,
you got Lego. You know, it's like everything that you could ever want in a lifetime from a collector's standpoint, in an eclectic collection at that. He's got it. You
yeah,
know, like wow.
yeah.
And I bet a lot of it's like the genuine deal because
Oh
he
yeah.
doesn't seem like someone to cut a corner and or anything like that. Like
No,
that was incredible.
nah, he
But
He
doesn't.
spared no
unfortunately,
expense. He
LA will
spared no
have to
expense.
wait. I would love to come down there and hang with you folks one day,
Oh
but
yeah, for
with
sure.
the virus being the way it is, I'm a little apprehensive to do any
Uh,
extensive travel.
so
Of course.
how serious for you is this virus? Like how like because I run into people who take it very seriously or not at all, and some
Mhm.
people in between. So like what level of uh, interest, concern, DEF CON are you at with this whole Corona stuff?
I would say like fairly, I'm moderate to high, and I say that like with I'll always wear a mask like when I'm around people. I try to keep my distance. But now that I'm in like working again, there are instances where someone will break that 6 foot boundary. You know, you
Okay.
have to take a step back, or if you're sitting down and someone walks by, you got to be mindful. Like, hey, look, you got to back off. You know, and keep distance. So you do the best you can with what you got, but ultimately, there's no way that you can stop someone passing by you without getting too close.
Right.
So
Right.
with that, I say I lean on the moderate side. It's not like I'm turning around and running in the opposite direction, but I have to be really careful. You know, my parents are getting up there in age. My girlfriend and I like we're doing the best we can so that we can both stay healthy. You know, and avoid like any sort of compromises to our immune systems.
Okay.
Because we got bills to pay, you know, and we got to make sure that we're able to do work even though we can like use sick time and you know that's nice, but still like, what if the worst happens and now it's like, man,
So
someone's gonna get
is
I
hospital
think
bills.
yeah. Go ahead, Joe.
I think a lot of people are still inconsiderate of it and inconsiderate of
Yeah.
it, like and are dismissive of it.
Oh yeah.
And
But the sad part is that I'll always do what's best for me. I cannot
of course,
force anyone to do anything. I can point them to the data and say, hey, be careful. But at the end of the day, people are gonna make bad decisions, and it's frustrating. But that's why I avoid them.
Okay.
right, right.
What about work? Do you have a higher percentage of uh, the possibility at work? Like, is it a little bit more dangerous where you work at, or no?
So I'm a little bit fortunate that I'm in a warehouse, so we can distance ourselves pretty well.
Okay.
It's just more of getting people to follow the rules consistently. That's always a challenge sometimes, you know, like people will bring their masks down to yell across the way if they need help, you know.
Right. Right.
If
Right.
someone gets hurt and they yell, you know, 30 feet to get my attention to come over, um, I don't blame them for pulling down their masks, you know, if someone's hurting or needs help, you know, or attention. You know,
Right.
Right.
that's a production environment for you. Not that we get hurt frequently. It's more of like, hey, look, this person, they got a little paper cut. They need a band-aid. You know, it's like, all right, I'm on my way. I don't want them bleeding all over the place. I gotta look
Right.
after them. That's my team.
Yeah.
So
How
it's
many
stuff like
times
that.
has that happened already? Because I know that you just started this job.
Um, I've seen
What are
paper
you
cut
keeping
from
a
like
safe work
cardboard.
environment, Akshay? I
I'm doing the best I can, Joe. Uh,
mean,
I try to lead by example of being safe, but I know that there are times where people got hurt.
Right.
It could be little things, you know. When you're working in a fast-paced environment, it's easy to get a paper cut.
Yeah.
right,
You
of
Yeah.
know,
course, yes,
it happens. You
absolutely.
know, that's a workplace accident, if you will. Like, and people will do the best they can to just keep working through it. But if you're bleeding on stuff, you're bleeding on stuff.
True.
So
Oof.
cleaning it up appropriately, making sure that they have, you know, a band-aid on, that they've sanitized the wound, you know, you gotta look after your team. But in those moments, social
Look at you,
distancing is still being practiced.
I know.
a
Akshay,
leader.
he's a man. He's an adult.
He's a leader
Doing
on
the
and off.
thing.
On and
Look at that.
yes, on and off call. He's, they still they salute him.
Oh, huzzah.
uh, yeah. Shit. I was gonna ask about like the how serious should someone like really take it? Do you think it's okay for somebody to be like really paranoid about it, uh,
You know what?
or
I
like
think it really depends on where you are.
can
If you're around like a lot of people that are potential like hazards to get sick, then you need to take it very, very seriously.
so has there
Yes,
But if you're around in your social bubble and you're like just confined to your house and no one's leaving or going anywhere, you obviously don't need to wear a house with your roommates. or
Right,
anything,
right.
but I would still say be really careful and try to understand where they've been. Like that's a scary bit.
Well,
Um,
has there been a moment where you were invited to some sort of like local gathering, like maybe from a family or your girl or something like that, um, to something outdoors, but it was still a group of like, you know, 10, 15 people plus something like that?
yeah, actually, just this weekend, like yesterday, I was invited to a barbecue.
Okay, yeah,
I
like
kind
that.
of slept through it,
Okay.
so I missed it. And my girlfriend was gonna go there and solo it, but she actually stayed home.
Oh.
And when she talked to one of her friends that went, he was telling her like, look, they were not necessarily practicing all of the safety measures that are required in the
Ah.
county,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Where you have to maintain, distance. You have to wear a mask at all times. And they were like sharing cigarettes. They were sharing bottles, and
Oh,
I go, that
Wow.
could be a super spreader event,
Oh my
you
God.
Event,
know.
absolutely.
And it's scary because what if one day one of them gets sick and that virus eventually gets to my parents, right?
Right.
Like that's what scares me. Like it's not about what someone else is doing, it's what it can do to affect my life in any way. What if you guys get sick because they went from that party, went down to LA, gave it to one of your friends, and you got it?
Right.
Like
Right.
that's what drives me nuts. And I feel like the only way we're going to get around this is if we all kind of do our part, chip in, and just jump on the grenade all together, and avoid this virus at all costs,
Yeah.
and
I
eventually
agree.
get
I
to like
agree.
a vaccine, or eventually get to a means where we've eliminated it. But again, it's the human condition to be social.
Right.
So
Right.
it's human
It really
nature
is.
to congregate in groups. It's why we're so successful as a species. It's why we've been able to elevate. And you take that away and people crumble.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. It's
Of
amazing to
course.
see how people are so desperate to get back to what they remember doing, kind of like
Yeah.
what we fantasize, not fantasize, but what we remember us doing when we were in college. Um,
Right.
and maybe it's just not serious enough for. I mean, it's serious, but I don't. It kind of sucks that it has to be like extremely deadly, like the Black Plague, for people to take it seriously, as they
Right.
should. And that's what really sucks, because I've obviously made the mistake when I recorded this podcast out in public, hence my Instagram picture. But there were still precautions
Yeah, you were
made,
pretty
like
drunk and you were just like, I don't care who it is. Let them come and talk to us. Hey, you complete stranger that I've never met in my life, who's not wearing a mask, come and talk to us over here.
Yeah. Body
And I
shots.
hear
Let's
D
go.
saying
Body
like,
shots for everybody.
and I hear some of our friends like, Kian, that's not exactly social distancing, man. And you're like, I don't give a fuck. I like
oh,
to think it's because of the alcohol.
oh, alcohol. Yeah, alcohol. It's a hell of a drug.
Yeah.
It's yeah, I was gone. That's what happens. Akshay would know.
Keenan,
I think he would know like what I was like back in college when I went too far with drinking.
You
Keenan,
lit it on fire.
Safe to say,
is it safe to say that was Francis Connor Keenan?
Francis Connor. Oh, uh, I took shots
You
of
know, when I get too shit faced,
it's Whiskey Joe.
I'm Whiskey Joe.
Francis
Was that
Connor
Francis
Keenan.
Connor?
I like that name, but it should be more associated with the soju I drank that night. I don't know what brand it was. It was the one in the green
Oh, I
bottle.
got it. I already got it. I
Okay.
got it.
Okay.
So, Juicianin.
Soju Cyanin. Oh my god. It's a work in progress.
Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there.
Oh, he didn't like that. He didn't like that. He didn't like that.
No, I like the Francis Connor Keenan. I like that, but I wish. So what they wound up doing was I asked for the drink and they gave me like Bud Light or some weird shit like that, and I had to order another one just off the basis of when I want my Francis Connor, I get my Francis Connor, and that's um,
Oh,
that's.
apologies.
I'm also an elitist. Akshay knows that for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And it was pretty crazy. I mean, John and Andrew have the good naked Keenan story, but I don't know what the craziness I did when I was drinking with you and Brian eventually, Akshay, at SF State. I forgot if there was any like Keenan went too far moments.
No, actually, Keenan was very tame because you were still learning, and so you were. I think the biggest thing was is that you would just drink enough to watch Brian and I act foolish. You
Yeah.
were still the smartest person in the room, because you were too scared to get there, or you just had more fun watching us just get
Just do shit.
obliterated and comatose, or play video games with people that are like just below par at that point.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it
So
was.
I think that's what you had a lot of fun doing.
I did.
I think you only started breaking that boundary when you moved out and you found those roommates that kind of took you to a different level. It's almost like, hey, I could let my hair down. I'm with strangers. You're not gonna remember this.
Well, it was funny enough. It was Brian that got my first drink because we went to Bubblegum Shrimp in San Francisco at Pier 39,
Yep.
and we ordered. I thought I ordered a virgin margarita or something like that, or whatever it was, and it turns out that the drink had alcohol in it, and I sipped on it, and I was like, "This tastes really awful," and I gave it to him, and he's like, "Dude, that's alcohol," and I was like, "Really?" And then I took more sips, and I was like, "Wow, it tastes kind of funny," and I just. And then eventually I drank the whole glass and ordered another one. And I was like, fuck. Well, I drink now. So then I started drinking. But um, then it was funny because I agree with people, and Joe would know this, and so would you actually, that there are plenty of moments in our lives that doesn't involve alcohol that we have a lot of fun with.
Oh,
So alcohol,
For sure.
yes,
I don't have to drink to play video games, and I have
yes,
a ball playing with you
yes, yes, but there
Yeah,
are
absolutely.
moments under some influences that are just downright hysterical, memorable shit. Um,
guys. Oh yeah.
Even before getting tipsy, like you have a few drinks and whatnot, but you're in this moment or vibage where
Vibage. All right. There you go.
There you go.
that,
That was the word. I was waiting for one of those.
okay, that Akshay might have mentioned Victoria, where once I got my car in San Francisco, I would drive down to South San Francisco with Brian and Akshay to TGI Fridays, and that was our. I guess we call it our Cheers restaurant or whatever. Like that was our
Oh,
go-to.
They knew us by first name.
Yeah, yeah, and
Wow.
sometimes they would give us free drinks or something like that, or free shots, and it was like that was the place to go to. That was
I
like,
closed that place down many nights.
yeah, it was, and it wasn't. It was never really crowded, and we would
Yeah.
go there on odd nights and sometimes Saturdays and Sundays. But we had a blast just going down. That was our little hangout, place, with just the three of us. So there are still some moments that I would contribute to, not fully supporting alcohol and alcoholism, but like just that interaction that we had that involved alcohol was still very fun, and something that shouldn't be looked at as negative or bad or you know prohibiting or encouraging something. It was just three dudes hanging out at a TGI Fridays getting sloshed on a Thursday.
Yes. On the
On
Thursday.
Thursday.
It's the best day. The weekend's so close.
Yeah,
I
fuck,
need that.
fuck homework.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was
Isn't
some.
that crazy?
Yeah, yeah. Those were some wild nights and wild days. But yeah, dude. Fuck, I was gonna say there was the added thing I totally forgot. Actually, there was something we talked post or pre-show that I thought I was gonna bring up as a conversation topic.
We're talking
Um,
about inventions because you did have a lot of great inventions in college.
Oh yeah, Joe. Well, Joe actually was there when I created the flashlight. Joe actually knows about the flashlight, the 360 flashlight, because I sent him like a PDF or something like that in an
You
email.
also brought it up, like you brought prototype
source.
number, I think 5 up.
Yeah.
And you showed me at KC's,
Yeah.
and you were like so hyped up, like I can get the construction costs down. I can get the materials for cheap. Check this out. That thing was so
I remember
bright.
that.
I
Yeah.
think your biggest
Yeah.
fear was making sure that it could last a long time. You're like, the battery life is kind of poor right now,
Shitty.
but I'm working on that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you were so amped up, and I was like, dude,
That
let's
was
turn it into a project. And so I started trying to manage you, which was a mistake, um, because I think if you felt that pressure from me saying, okay, where's the prototype? Where's the schematic? Where are we looking for production costs? Let's start to break things down. I think that's where you kind of got frightened. You're like, nope,
It's too much.
I want to put this on a shelf. And I'm all like, my manufacturing minds came to fruition where I'm like, look, we got to start to think about outsourcing. We got to start thinking about putting a team together. I don't want you working. I want you designing and answering tough questions and getting face to face with people and investing. And you're like, ha, ha, ha.
Yeah. It's like, this may not be for me.
Reality hit.
Yeah.
And he's like, wait a
The hard
minute, does
work,
this mean I have to actually
popped
do
up.
work?
Yeah. He's like, what do I got to do again? I'm like, oh, God, here we go. You know, it's like,
He's like,
there's a
well,
lot
this
of work
torch
with
isn't
releasing
really
a
that
brilliant
important.
project. But
Yeah.
I saw the brilliance behind your project.
Ah,
Think that
thank
had
you.
some great ideas. I loved. I don't know if Joe got to see pictures of this or got to write it, but your hovercraft,
No, Joe doesn't
Yeah,
know.
I remember that.
brilliant.
No, I do remember that.
Oh, you remember the hovercraft?
Remember it,
Oh,
right?
okay.
That
Well,
thing
I
was
do.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
It was wild. That was funny because that when we ever have a mention about
He did what he had to
um,
do it to
reg-
like picture early.
regrets or any type of like I wish this would have happened kind of thing, because that hovercraft landed me a internship job at a Silicon Valley startup in 2005, 4, something like that. But basically, it landed me a job in Silicon Valley that was like, holy shit, I've made it. And then I totally just like threw it in the trash once I left the internship. And I was like, ah, fuck.
Hey, but it was good learning.
It was,
Right.
but it was
Can't
so,
kick yourself.
no. Well, I don't, but I do notice a connection towards, I wouldn't say faith, but like when people are talking about how the universe provides, or how if you ask the universe something or you give out to the universe, it gives back, kind of thing. Maybe not so much spiritual with God, but in the relation of all that, that was a moment in my life where I can go, yeah, what you're talking about does exist. I don't have a name for it. You can call it God or the universe, but I did have a moment of opportunity that I did capitalize on, but not invest in. So I definitely took the job. I built the hovercraft. I showed it to my teacher. I talked to my teacher. I answered his phone calls and emails. I called the company, got the internship, got the job, did the job, but I didn't invest in my job or my future, and that's why it kind of went away. Um, so to anybody out there who's listening, I do sometimes now question, how many opportunities does the universe give you throughout your life? Is it every moment, every year, every instance? Is it only once? Was that my once in a lifetime thing? I don't know. Do I just have to ask for it again? I have no idea, because now I have this
Are you
opportunity.
gonna ask me?
Yeah, or am I even asking in the right way? Maybe I'm asking the universe, but I'm not asking them properly. Maybe I'm not, as I say to my roommates, maybe I'm not communicating well um, to the universe to get that next opportunity, because I do have my own company now, so to speak, and I do have a small growing business, but it's there and it exists, and I could turn that into the next Silicon Valley if I wanted to, probably. Um, but
I think you're just answering your own questions.
I know, fuck you guys.
We're in full circle right there.
I talk myself into it. You don't have to say shit. I'll just talk my all the way around.
Oh, man. Oh my god.
You have no idea, Akshay. Joe kind of has a hint of it, because I've been with him for almost 95 episodes, but I can talk for a long time.
So question,
so
when you guys are not recording, are you just sitting there just talking to yourself
Yeah.
about like greater parts of the universe? Like just hours and hours and hours every day?
I would say so, right, Joe? Or we would talk about politics or women or something like. None of our business doesn't end when we stop recording. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, it
That's
definitely
brilliant.
does. It definitely doesn't.
Yeah.
We gotta chase that rabbit. We gotta find the end of that hole, huh, Keenan?
Yes, we do.
There is no end. There is no
Oh,
end.
okay.
Talk about
Is
so
no
many
end. But
things.
that's the best part. It's not about the destination. It's all about
But
the journey. Am I
yes, the Call of Duty journey.
Absolutely.
Don't take that
100%.
vehicle in real life. Walk your way.
right? Walk it there.
Yeah.
Take a nice
Fast
stroll
way isn't
down
the
the
best way.
dance.
There was something actually you did want to talk about with, or at least bring to the show about your aspect, because Joe actually listened to our episode about job. What is it called? The
Oh
Responsibility.
yeah.
job response. Yeah,
responsibility.
job responsibility, corporation
Yeah.
responsibility, human law.
Employer
Employee
responsibility.
responsibility.
Right.
So, Akshay, definitely let Joe know what your thoughts, because he told me, but I was like, oh, we should get you on to talk about it. So,
Awesome.
if
Yeah.
you remember,
So a little bit of backstory. Joe and Keenan were talking about maternity and paternity time off, and I was so in tune with that episode because I absolutely agree with Joe, but I definitely see where Keenan was coming from with the questions about responsibility. I don't disagree with either party, but I also agree that it does fall under the government
hmm
to make those changes, but the government can't do everything in the labor force. It honestly can't. Ratification takes a lot of time. A lot of people sit on stuff, and there's truly no right way. At what point do they start policing, and we start to lose that barrier between the company and the government? If the company was controlled by the government, would it still be a company that's independent?
yeah,
So I totally
Now
understand where
again,
everyone was coming from on that conversation. From my experience with labor laws, there's a law for just about everything. There's a rule or regulation for just about everything. But when it comes to specific conduct, there isn't always a lot of rules and room for the government to get involved. And with paternity and maternity laws, I love the fact that other countries give a lot more time and have understood paternity and maternity a little bit differently, and I think that's kind of the future. But with our current government and our current landscape, companies are held within very lax standards in some cases, and with that, they're going to take the best approach, which is best for them. Because at the end of the day, if they're not profitable, how can they afford to pay us?
right,
no, you're right. Absolutely.
yeah,
You're,
uh,
you're, you're completely right.
yeah,
My
It's a
my
nasty
argument.
gray area,
See,
isn't it?
okay. Yeah. Yes, because I believe in free enterprise. I believe in a business has the right to do whatever they want to do within certain
Yeah.
limitations as far as labor is concerned. And
Yes.
and and I brought that point up when we wouldn't have unions if businesses played fair.
right. We
And
wouldn't.
now
Yeah.
businesses only play fair because the government stepped in and said, "Yo, if you guys want to establish something in this country, you have to abide by these certain regulations." Now, like you said, Akshay, a lot of times there's so many things that it takes to run a business that in some aspects they are very lax or very vague as far as what those rules are.
Yeah.
But I think there's specific things that should that the government should say, look, this is what it is, and I think it's the government's responsibility in some of those things to say to have to kind of put their foot down on specific things, and I
I
and
agree.
maternity leave I believe is one of them. Like
Yes.
we don't like, and this is the argument that I gave in that episode for those of you who haven't listened to it, is we don't take puppies away from a mother uh, prior to a certain amount of time. So why would we do that to a human being? Like if you have a dog, you're not going to take the puppies away from that dog in the first 2 months because those 2 months are crucial to that puppy. As far as uh, breastfeeding and things like that. And
Right.
why would we limit? Why would we have the same amount of time for a dog that as, for a human being as we do for a dog. Like it doesn't make sense to
Right.
me. Like I feel that maternity leave really should be a lot longer than what I mean what the labor laws are. And I don't and again I can't um off the top of my head I can't remember exactly how long that is. Maybe you have a better idea, Akshay. Um, but I think it's somewhere around 6 to 8 weeks, maybe longer,
I think you're
or maybe
absolutely right.
it's a month.
And thinking aloud, I think about whose responsibility is it to make things fair for child rearing and child's bearing and raising of children. Um,
Right.
I honestly think like maybe we should start to think about programs, from the government standpoint to say, hey, look, if you're bringing in the future, we need to invest as the government or as the
Yes,
village,
absolutely.
as opposed to just saying, hey, business, you pay for it, or these are the expectations. Because I know this, not every business is profitable. A lot of
No.
businesses they're seasonal, and when you have that inconsistency or you're not able to make a certain amount of money, it can't get tied up in the what if. It has to be spent
Yeah.
immediately to guarantee the future that will be.
Of
And
course.
so with pregnancies, imagine not being prepared for it from a business standpoint. Some businesses have a lot of money going towards benefits. We're talking, 80, 90, almost like a dollar or two per dollar earned for the associate will go back towards benefits, whether it's in
Yes.
retirement or programs, you name it, et cetera, education.
Yes.
But other businesses, they can't operate on that level. So they're down to like, 10 cents of benefits where you're just like buying the lowest end healthcare for your squad because that's necessary and there's nothing else. You get the least amount of vacation, you get no opportunities at overtime.
Right.
uh
So, but
and
so changing it would changing it or having the government make it more strict prevent companies who can't afford it certain concerns because now they have to provide more that they couldn't before.
Yes, I would think that there has to be an area for businesses to meet a certain standard, but I also think
Yeah.
that the government should do their part in providing for this future as well in some cases, because again, these are future politicians in the making. These are future voters that are going to take initiative in running the country the way of the people. So why not
Right.
reinvest in the
Right.
people as a whole, as a collective? Not all of us have kids, and so some of us are paying for other kids. That's fine because it's going to be those kids that eventually assume these leadership positions when we're not here. And I think we
Right.
got to plan for that future. We're not meant to live forever. We will expire, but our actions and our
Of course.
contributions will remain.
Yeah.
And I think we have to be
Yes.
responsible in that manner. We have to take that initiative now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the government does bear some type of responsibility, or should bear
Yes.
some type of
Yes.
responsibility,
Alongside the
if the
corporations.
government.
Alongside businesses. Yes. It's got to be mutual but different.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So
Mutual, but different.
because that's I think that was something we were also missing out in our conversation, Joe, was that we were restricting, which I think that's what our conversation should have been, because that's the topic was restricting it to just companies alone, but we never gave the opportunity of option where if a company can't afford to increase their services for their employees due to a government mandate, that the government should provide help to those companies so they can.
Mm,
Because is isn't that what
yes.
you were saying, Akshay? Like government should have programs provided for citizens if or for the companies if they can't afford to
I
uh,
wouldn't say not afford. I believe they need to have something for afford and just having some sort of program set up. Right? Like we're paying into our government
Yeah.
quite a bit of money in
Oh,
the
people
form of
pay a
taxes,
lot.
a lot.
right.
And so with
We.
that, I feel like a portion of that needs to go towards future planning, and with that comes children. We have to look after the
Mhm,
future. We got to plan for a better one. Businesses still
mhm.
have a responsibility to provide up to a certain point, and those rules vary depending on the number of employees that you have.
Yeah.
But I feel like you have to have both. You need both. You need businesses that will not terminate associates for not being at work because they had a child, and will give them the health care and provide
That's
for them
ludicrous.
to some level. But you also need governments to help out too, across the board. And when I say governments, I mean plural, like every government. We should be united in looking after our future because they're gonna take over the world when we leave. And let's hope that the world survives a little bit longer when we're gone.
Sounds like you're running for office. I mean,
Hardly.
Akshay,
I am not the right person to sit in office.
Akshay, we're gonna vote for Akshay because
Oh, God.
he's he's the leader of the Litty Committee now.
Oh, no.
That's our public that's our group, and a vote for Akshay is a vote for America.
There you go. Yeah.
The vote
See?
for Akshay is vote for the
Maybe you're onto something, Keenan. You could be my campaign manager. How about that?
No, then once
I don't know,
yeah, because
because
once they dig up my
it's a lot of
past,
responsibility for Keaton.
oh, fuck you, Joe. I can handle this. Me
Are you
thinks
sure?
no, but I want to. I'll make the flyers. How about that?
Okay.
I'll
Okay,
do-
we got a flyer guy. Let's do this.
yeah,
That's
I'm ready now, Joe.
I'm.
Let's do it.
I'll
There
make.
it is.
I'll
That's all I
be.
needed, the flyer
Yeah,
guy.
that's what happened to Obama. He got that artist to make his picture, and then skyrocketed. I'll be that.
Tell
I'll
me
be
to
that guy.
send, like partial nudes wearing tighty whities, looking at the camera from like behind my back, making a seductive pose because it's absolutely necessary to my constituents
Yes.
that you
Okay.
have this.
I'll pay for that calendar.
Oh my god. Oh, speaking of calendar and pictures of Akshay, if anybody's listening wants to see what me, Akshay, and our roommate Dan looks like back when we first met, there's one photo on the internet, and it's on my Facebook page. So I have no restrictions on my photos, but
Awesome.
you have to go to my profile, go to my photos, and you have to scroll all the way down to the bottom because I believe it's the very first one that I posted, and it's a picture of me, Akshay, and Daniel looking at the camera like all confused and shit. And it's crazy because we look the same, but just like supremely younger.
Different.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy. Um, but I just want to let the audience know that that there is something out on the interwebs of us together.
The best. The
Yeah.
best. Man. I remember you learning how to break dance on that floor.
We
Ooh,
did.
wait a minute.
Well,
yeah.
we took
We're
away
moving out.
we took away the carpet or something like that.
Yep, and we were practicing spinning on the floor because it was nice and slick hardwood. It was awesome.
Yeah,
Ooh.
And Keenan did some spins.
Oh, it must have been
Keenan
phenomenal.
got some spins
it was pretty hilarious. We
They were
played.
aided spins, but he did it.
Yeah, we played
I wish there was
a
I wish there
video.
was video. Of
No, no video. There's a picture of I think Brian is trying to spin me on my foot and around again.
Oh
Facebook has a lot of my history on there. A lot of stuff that I probably should be embarrassed about, but I don't give a fuck. But it's on there.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, so with that, Joe will explain real quickly
Oh,
for our
shit.
audience the
Oh, are we
soapbox.
there already?
Two,
Get out.
yeah, 2 hours, 1 minute, and 20 seconds, and still counting.
Okay.
Oh wow, that's crazy. All right. Well,
Yeah.
with that, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the soapbox portion of our podcast. For those of you just tuning in or who have not listened to our show in the past, the soapbox portion is where we let each host and our guests, today being Akshay, take the time to speak on whatever they want to speak on, whether it's promoting something, shouting someone out, talking shit, venting. It doesn't matter what it is. You get an unspecified amount of time, however much you'd like, and uninterrupted, Keenan, to speak on that. And again, since we do have a guest today, Akshay, coming in, the Gulag Verdansk Master Race King, we're gonna let you take the soapbox first, Akshay, then followed by Keenan, and I'll close it out.
Sweet.
Fantastic. Well, that was a hell of an introduction. I've had two amazing introductions. And so I'd like to start by thanking just everybody listening, the two hosts for having me on board. I mean, what a pleasure. It's been an amazing run that I've had with you folks playing in Verdansk. And I look forward to Cold War with you folks. And my soapbox is really just going to be about reflecting and growing your own green grass. All too often, we look at our neighbors and we go, "Man, that yard is amazing. I want to live in that lawn." But they worked really hard to get it there, and sometimes we have to put in that hard work. And I've learned that. My green grass is not always green. There's some yellow spots in it, and it started out as a dirt plot. And I know that I've had to redo the sod many, many times, but I've grown the best green grass that I could grow up to now. I still think I can grow much more green grass, and I'm going to do the best part as I can. But I definitely look at my neighbors, and I really just look at them to say, "Hey, teach me what you did. Don't let me come over there. Just teach me what you did." I really want to be at that level. So I ask all of you to reach out to your mentors and thank them if they've helped you grow that green grass. I'm sure they have. And that's my soapbox. This short, sweet. I want to send good vibes to everybody listening, and thank you guys again for having me.
Wow. Yep. Snapping the
You
fingers. Snap,
son of a
snap, snap,
mother. You
snap.
son of a mother. Gosh darn it. Gosh, I don't even want to cuss in front of you.
No, it's
You're just a
not.
saint. You're such a saint. You just, oh, goodness gracious. Akshay. Oh,
Akshay. Oh, jeez.
all right.
All right.
That was phenomenal. Keenan, hit us with it so much.
Akshay already beat me to it. Damn you. Damn you. Yes, again, as Akshay said, thank you to all the listeners. Thank you, Joe, for being on Discord with Akshay. Akshay, thank you for being on Discord with us. Thank you to the guys in the back room in the audio that I can hear really clearly for the Dodger game. It's been a really good episode. I love this episode. Can't wait to have it post up. For all the listeners, tell everybody that you can. Tell people at your quarantine party. Tell people at the police station when you get arrested. Tell people that are from your family, your friends, everybody. Just spread the word around. Get us out there. And my soapbox is actually an official apology, closely apology, but it's an apology nonetheless because I was super nerve wracking, and Joe knows this, that I was having a lot of expectations on this other podcast that I was trying to get us promoted on. And when it didn't show up on their show, I freaked out and I was getting really nervous. And I was like, oh, why aren't they doing this? Why aren't they doing that? I gave them money. I was trying to do everything. And my mind was going crazy. But all I needed to do was have patience. And my thing for everybody is to just have patience because eventually the next show they did, I listened to it, they called us out really nicely. And I definitely thanked them for that. So thank you to the podcast called Dick Talk and Mimosas, which is on the same platforms as we are through Anchor and Spotify and all that stuff. So that is my soapbox.
Wow. Look at that. A little bit of patience is all it took, Keenan.
Yep.
That's you know what? You're great. uh, well, I'm gonna close this thing out. Keenan, I want to thank you for holding it down. Before I get into my soapbox, I sincerely want to thank you. You've done an excellent job. I never doubted you. I supported you 100% of the way. I knew you could do it, and you absolutely pulled it off, with the exception of the following Monday of last week, when you said you were locked out of your place, but you actually just had misplaced your keys.
Oh shit! I forgot to mention that. Oh god, yeah, actually it was bad. My keys were underneath the bag of the equipment in my room.
So, it's okay. We still got it taken care of. Akshay, I want to thank you wholeheartedly. I'm so glad that you were able to hop on with us. It was nice when Keenan mentioned that he wanted to have you on. I was just like, wow, absolutely, definitely. It has to happen. So I want to thank you for joining us. I hope you had a ball. You've been a long-time listener. You've listened to a lot of them. I don't know if you've listened to all of them, but if you have, I absolutely appreciate that. So yes, thank you. Yeah. I've been out here in Miami for a little over a week, and I want to say my soapbox is about this is about the coronavirus. We're dealing with an administration that has downplayed it. Even even with our president who contracted the coronavirus, downplaying it, even though he had the the best physicians, the best hospital, the best medical care, had experimental drugs, quote unquote, um, take care of him, and still downplayed it like you shouldn't fear this thing. I've been here in Miami for over a week, and I've tested every other day. We're in a bubble here, like we're not going anywhere outside of the hotel or the venue that we've been in, and it's a very serious thing. Like, do not dismiss this thing just because your president um, beat it. Again, he had the best care possible. Um, and some of his advisors went through it. And if any of you have kept up with anything that's happened in politics in the last couple of months, Chris Christie contracted the coronavirus as well, and he was hospitalized for like 7 days at least. And he came out of that saying, "Hey guys, this is fucking serious. I apologize for ever ever dismissing this as anything but." So if a jackal fucking piece of shit like Chris Christie can go back on his word and say, "Hey, this shit is serious," then we should absolutely take it as such. Um, it's like Akshay had said earlier tonight. Um, it's the disease isn't about you. It really isn't about you. It, it's about the people around you, especially anyone who's of age, who's a little older. Your parents, your grandparents. If they were to contract this disease, not having the medical care that our president could get, um, it can be a very serious thing, and you can absolutely lose them. So when you do go out and you want to have fun and you want to do all these things, keep that in mind that you're also risking um, a lot more than just your own life. I know these last, I don't know, fucking 7 months have been tough for everyone. And at times, you get some semblance of normalcy. But this thing isn't over. It's far from over. And we can't think that just because the year is almost over or because the election is almost over, that this shit is going to go away. We absolutely can't feel that way. We can't act that way. We have to take it just as serious as we took it on March 13th or whenever we were actually put into this shutdown. And that's all I have to say. Just take care of yourselves and just keep others in mind over yourself. Um, Even if you don't believe that this thing is serious, what how does it hurt you to just keep be considerate of others? How does that take away from you? It doesn't. Wearing a fucking mask doesn't kill you. You could take it off when you get in the fucking car. You can take it off when you get inside your home. Like, it's not like you're restricted by that fucking mask. But wearing that mask can save a lot of other people. So just be considerate. And and sometimes you want to do cocaine, and that's okay too.
What the fuck?
I don't know, man. I was just trying to end that with something funny.
Oh
But
god.
but yeah, just be considerate of others, and thanks for listening to this podcast. Thanks again to Akshay and to you, Keenan, for holding it down. And I'll be back next week, so
Yep.
Keenan and I
I'll be back.
can do this thing together.
And then Joe, let Akshay know about our sign off too,
Yeah, absolutely. What do you mean?
because he has to say something after you do when we do our official sign away.
Well, you just.
God dang it! I don't know.
And
It's your
I
thing.
And I
But I
feel
want to
like
hear it
I
when
feel
Joe
like
says it.
oh well,
I like when Joe says it.
when we sign off, actually, I'm gonna set it off. Keenan will follow, and then you close us out. All right.
Will do.
So
Absolutely.
Wait, no, Keenan
I'd
starts
start and then use it. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Keenan. Sorry, Keenan. You're the one that starts it, then I'll follow up.
Okay.
And then Akshay, you close it out.
But definitely do your. This has been the None of Our Business. Blah 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 blah. And I'll.
This has been episode 95 of the None of Our Business podcast. We are your host, Keenan and Joe. Guest, very special guest, Akshay.
I don't know. It's kind of hard. It's so weird. It's weird. Okay, no beatbox. Okay, all right. Here we go. Eat your woman out.
Suck your man's dick.
Grow the greenest grass you can.
Hey, let's go. Litty Committee.
Committee.
All right.